Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic podcast. So, welcome back to another episode of the Islamic podcast. It's been a while. Uh, Thank you guys for joining us. Right now, no one's watching, but so as I promised you guys, I wanted to do a live stream reacting to the whole drama that happened between Apus and Apostate Aladdin. But before we get to that, let us bring on our guest, our special guest, Brother MENJ. Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, bro. How are you?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing well, alhamdulillah. Yeah. Just been a bit busy, that's
Alhamdulillah.
all.
Yeah. As we were talking offline. It's very hot here, so I won't be able to continue for too long. But we're gonna watch the Apostate Aladdin's video first, and then inshallah we'll watch at least the first hour of like the back and forth of like David Wood and Apos and their response. Now, a lot of people like ask me to like, bro, like, why are you reacting to this drama? These people are just attention seekers and whatnot. And personally, I actually did not want to react to this at first, but then I realized that these people are constantly, even throughout the video, constantly mocking Islam, mocking the sentiment, and also the video that I'm gonna react to with Apus and like David Wood. They say a lot of nasty things about Islam, but besides that, they lie about Africa a lot regarding what's happening to Muslims in Africa. They try to make it seem like African Muslims are somehow like this kind of like terrorists and whatnot, which is not true because a lot of African Muslims are actually victims of Christian violence. And this is something I actually wanted to talk about a long time. So thankfully, I had brother Amy and Jay, so maybe we can discuss that. And I did a little bit of research. I'm not an expert, but I did a little bit of research. Inshallah, we will discuss that as well. Inshallah. So, bro, did you watch this video, by the way? You're muted.
So amusing to see him. I mean, the guy who covers his face, going at his partner, his comrade in arms. But let's I think we can comment as we go along, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not waste any time. Let's just get on with the thing. So, this is the video. So, basically, how this drama started is that Apostate Aladdin made a refutation video to Apostate Prophet, right? And I was kind of interested in that because it seems like they're just infighting. And I found this hilarious because these people always blame Muslims for infighting, right? Whenever there's like some kind of drama, they're the first people to like, oh, look at these Muslims, look, they're infighting, So I figured like, okay, you want to play that game, let's play that game, so 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 let's react to what he said basically. Again, I won't watch the full thing. I'm gonna watch like the first few minutes and then watch some of like their responses. But the main reason as I mentioned, I wanted to talk about this is to highlight some of the things that is happening in Africa, which I think don't get covered much, and that's actually the main reason I wanted to cover this, because African Muslims are facing a lot of trouble, especially from Christian extremists. This is something that needs to be talked about. Inshallah, we'll talk about it in the video. So, bro, are you ready? I think you
Yeah,
made it.
let's roll. Yeah.
All right, let's roll.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Video includes topics with upsetting and potentially disturbing themes. While I do my best to choose my words carefully, your discretion is advised.
I need the West to understand something. Bonds kill people. Whoa. Did he say bonds kill people? I had no idea. What do you guys think about Trump? And I say what I always say. What do I think about?
Yeah. Like, bro, did you see this clip of like Apus saying this?
Nope, I didn't see this clip. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if a Muslim said this?
Definitely they will, make a lot of noise and
They'll be the first people to make
and they will,
videos on
yeah.
it. Imagine if we
they'll
said,
just simply attack. They'll just simply attack Muslims for it. Yeah.
imagine if we said that Iran or Hezbollah or like Hamas should have been more harsher with like the Jews or something like that. Imagine what the response would be. Like these people are such hypocrites that like I like you really need like a degree from like Oxford to like examine the level of hypocrisy these people face.
Say what I always
No,
say. I
that's
say, I
the
think Israel should be much harsher.
bro. That's the reason why they left Islam, because these people are hypocrites. You see, yeah, they don't
Yeah,
know
and the thing is,
the
What I think
religion.
of the Israeli settlements in the West Bank, I think lots of
yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention is
My
that
God, this guy. A lot of
another thing
them.
I
I
would
can't believe
mention.
he said this. I think a lot of them are completely justified. Under what law? Under what justification? It's totally illegal according to international law. Okay.
Yeah, not
Mm.
just illegal, like even from like any basic principle, like even like based on their own principles that Israelis themselves agreed to. This is a violation of that. By the way, brother Malcolm
Exactly.
X joined
Exactly.
us. Walaikum salam, bro.
Oh,
How are you?
walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Yes. Good to see you,
I
brother.
saw him
Yeah.
a long. It's been a long time since he's been here. So yeah, as I was mentioning, like these people like, and the thing is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this, I think, in the Quran and many places, where basically the more you move away from Islam, the more hard your heart gets. You know, your heart becomes harder, and this is manifesting, and you can clearly see this example with these people, but they have removed themselves so much from Islam that they have become like absolute shit dirtbags. You know, like absolutely evil, like
This
junk.
way. Look at it this way. I mean, right now we see university students, Jewish university students in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
U.S. protesting
Hmm.
against the funding that the U.S. is giving, the support that the U.S. is giving to Israel. And this guy, who's not even a U.S. citizen, who was raised in Germany, okay, he said basically
Yeah,
he's a migrant to the U.S. He's
yeah.
coming to the U.S. and he's saying things like, "I think a lot of them are, I think that the Israeli settlements are
them
justified
are
and all
completely
these
justified.
sorts of things which goes against international law." I mean,
Yeah.
you can see
So
the
basically, he's saying that
yeah
he's saying that I think it's okay for people to steal other people's land and
yeah.
just kill them. That's what that's what he's saying.
I mean, he's an atheist, right? If he's an atheist, then
Yeah.
perhaps he would at least concede to international law. But this guy is totally going against international law also. So what law does he follow?
Yeah.
You
You
see?
know what I think people should do. People should go to his house and like kick him out, and
Yeah,
like or
and claim
basically
and
torture
say,
him
yes,
like
this is our land. This is our land. Yeah,
yeah, and
you
then he
shouldn't be
attacks
here.
us.
You shouldn't
We
be
say
here,
that
you immigrant. You German immigrant. Get out of the U.S. Go back
yeah,
to Germany.
you could do that. You're an American. You have citizenship.
Technically, I could, because I was born in the U.S. That's the irony. Yeah,
Uh,
my God.
you could go there and like kick this
That's the
immigrant out.
irony.
German immigrant.
And I would have the legal right to do so because I'm an American citizen, technically speaking.
Yeah. You could kick him out and like send him over the Mexican border or something. And by the way, did you see the video where he went to Israel? He and David
I,
Wood.
I didn't see that video. I saw the video of David in Al-Aqsa, but I didn't see him anywhere near Al-Aqsa.
Yeah, I mean it's so obviously clear that they're getting paid
Mm.
by the Zionist media and whatnot, or Zionist think tank. I mean this was obviously clear. I think even when you had like tackled David Wood, I think David Wood has connection with like Robert Spencer, right? I think he's funding him. Or am I
I'm
right,
pretty
bro?
sure. I'm pretty sure Robert Spencer is funding David Wood. Yeah,
Yeah, because they're always making collaboration, and then all of a sudden,
yeah.
the moment like Apus gets in touch with him, he all of a sudden becomes a Zionist as well. So
Exactly,
clearly,
exactly.
I
So
think we can safely say it's very much possible that they have
he's
money
definitely
behind.
funded. He's definitely been funded by the Horowitz Foundation. Yeah, by the way, that's Robert Spencer's organization, Horowitz Foundation.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
the website or the Jihad Watch or whatever, right?
yeah. Jihad Watch is also funded by the Horowitz Foundation. Yeah,
Uh,
it's a guy by the name of David Horowitz or something. I don't remember whether it's David or Robert Horowitz. I don't remember the name exactly, but the last name is Horowitz. He's a
hmm,
Jewish and he's a Zionist. He's
hmm.
anti-Islam, and he has been funding all this, anti-Islamic organizations in the US for quite some
Hmm.
time. So Jihad Watch is one of them, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Pamela Geller's organization is called Stop Islamization of America, SIOA. Yeah. So that's also being funded by the Horowitz Foundations, and I believe that Apus here and his gay friend David Wood, his the gay partner David Wood, the psychopath who once beat his daddy with a hammer, is also being funded by Horowitz, by the Horowitz Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, brother Malcolm commented, I've been rather busy, but I always enjoy listening to you, amazing brothers. Alhamdulillah, no problem. Inshallah,
Alhamdulillah, good
always
to know.
welcome you.
Good to know,
So
mashallah.
let's continue. So
Given how I chose to begin this video, I know it's easy to presume that this is a video about Israel and Palestine, but it isn't. The problem I want to talk about today predates October 7th of 2023. This problem is difficult to define or pin down, but I'll give it my best shot. Its symptoms are evident in the conduct of one of the most popular
by the way, I want to make something clear. In this video, I'm not defending like Apostate Aladdin. Like, I don't like this guy. Okay, I've criticized him
Neither
in the
do I.
past.
Neither do I.
And he's a heavy Islamophobe. He often lies and uses fallacious arguments to attack Islam. So I don't like this guy. Brother MENJ doesn't like this guy. However, in this situation, he is defending Gaza. Like, he's defending like Palestine, or like he's against the genocide, or at least it seems like it. Right. So on this point, I think we can agree with him, at least on this point. This doesn't mean we endorse anything this guy says. As a matter of fact, in this stream, we will probably criticize him as well. And you'll see some hypocrisy coming out, but let's continue, inshallah.
Some YouTubers in the English-speaking world, Apostate Prophet, or AP for short. And though he's not the only manifestation of that problem, he's the most prominent figure with the largest reach, and therefore the largest potential to cause harm. So it feels to me more urgent to voice my displeasure about him first. All opinions I share in this video are my own, but they're also commonly echoed among other ex-Muslims. First, I'd like to tell you a bit about my first exposure and my first impressions of AP. I think it's important to understand where I'm coming from. Years ago, when I first found his channel, I had already lost almost all of my faith. It had been years of doubt and self-doubt up until I decided to get to the
brother Brainiac says Apus is Turkish nationalist. Yeah. By the way, I'm kind of curious if any Turkish brothers are watching. Is Turkish nationalism kind of leftist or like atheistic? Because I've heard a lot.
It is leftist. It is leftist.
Yeah. Because I think it's the opposition to Erdogan.
Sorry. Turkish nationalism is right. It's on the right. Yeah, it's quite extreme.
Yeah. I think the left movement is a bit secular.
Yes, that's right. No, the right movement is secular. The left is a bit more liberal and more towards Islam, actually. Yeah.
Determine once and for all what I think about Islam. Unlike many Muslims and ex-Muslims over the past several years, Apostate Prophet was my first exposure to Islamic criticism on this website. His channel is one of the first search results to pop up on YouTube if you look up controversial topics in Islam. I was surprised to hear anyone criticize Islam, let alone so bluntly. Some of the topics he mentioned...
By the way, you know what's funny? I think it's so abundantly clear that he's copying Apus. In the beginning, like the name, the branding, like everything, like all of this, like ex-Muslim channels in the beginning was copying Apus. You know, because
he calls himself Apostate. He calls himself Apostate Aladdin, and Apus calls himself Apostate Prophet.
Yeah, and what's funny is that Apus was copying David Wood. You know, as a matter of fact, there are videos where he directly copied David Wood. You know, so basically it's like a circle of a copy circle jerk. You know. So it's obviously clear that he was copying Apus, but because of the disagreements, and I think they had like back and forth, now they had a falling out, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Were familiar to me, and the information presented matched what I already found. So I quickly dismissed my knee-jerk suspicion that he's making it up to taint Islam. But there was something about his delivery that made me uneasy. He had a tone of righteousness.
This is the thing, like a lot of ex-Muslims need to realize that a lot of those people that you see or you follow, they're not good people, and you wouldn't like them very much, especially because they left Islam. Okay, their criticism of Islam is very shallow. Like it's not like a good arguments. Okay, that's because a lot of these people actually hate Muslims, and this is abundantly clear with people like David Wood, and it's abundantly clear with people like Robert Spencer or like Apus.
Yes,
because they only attack Muslims when like there's like some kind of terrorist attack or whatever. But when it comes to other extremist activities by Christians or like other like religions, they completely ignore it. Or even
I mean, look at it this way, okay? If you look at David's channel, he claims to be defending Christianity, right, from Islam and criticism of Islam, right? But have you actually watched a video, any single video of his, which talks about Christianity and Christian doctrines? I mean, actually saying, "Oh, please worship Jesus because Jesus is truly God," and then he gives reasons why he believes Jesus is God. Blah blah blah. or maybe he says, "Oh, look, the Bible is true because the Bible says this, and look, there's prophecies in the Bible which came true." Have you actually
Yeah,
watched
they don't
any of
talk
that?
about Christianity at all.
They never talk about it. Exactly. It's the same with Apus. Has he actually
Yeah,
said, "Oh, atheism is good because atheism does A, B, C, D"? Islam is. He says a lot about Islam, yes, but does he
yeah,
say anything positive about his own beliefs? I mean, I'm an atheist because I believe that atheism it does this. No, he never says this. He always says, "I am an atheist because I left Islam and Islam is evil. Islam does this, Islam does that. Therefore, I'm an atheist."
mhm.
You see, he never tries to justify why he chose atheism. You see.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Brother Skipper Mouse says, "Please accept me, white masters." Wow. Yeah, I mean, like these people are very kind of like insecure. To be honest, I'm not just
Exactly.
talking about him, by the way. I think a lot of ex-Muslims, and because of their insecurity, they just blindly follow whatever the Western leaders does. And
Exactly.
because the thing is that Muslims have a very unique identity, and we don't want to
Yes.
follow these colonizers.
Yes.
So, like, oftentimes they are in a clash because they know that what the West is doing is wrong, and this is basically fracturing their like movement even further. Their movement is already destroyed anyway, to be honest. But it's even fractured by things like this, which is good, alhamdulillah,
Exactly.
because as
Exactly.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He plans and His enemies plans, but He's the best of planners.
Exactly. I'm into
Indignation
that.
and a consistently sarcastic demeanor. When I thought of AP, I imagined him with a condescending and mocking smirk on his face. Like many ex-Muslims, I had felt a shock from realizing the extent of Islam's darker
Brother Malcolm says David attacked Ali Dawa's wife
Oh,
recently
I know
because.
about it. Yeah, I know about this. Yeah. I
Uh,
saw. I saw.
yeah,
I think I saw
I
one
haven't
of.
seen this one.
I saw one of Hijab's tweets defending Ali Dawa's position. So David was saying something like along the lines of Ali Dawa has about 1 million views, subscribers, but his wife is communicating with him via a board, the written, uh, a whiteboard on their in the hands.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's so he was attacking. Basically, he was saying like, "Why are you commit?" Because they had an interview recently. I mean, they had a podcast recently.
Hmm.
Ali Dawa and his wife, and his wife was facing, not facing the camera. She was facing. The camera was facing behind her, right? And
Hmm.
and it was that. So I guess maybe David was jealous that he couldn't see Ali Dawa's wife's face. Perhaps he has some insecurities about his own wife. Perhaps he thinks that his wife is not as pretty as Ali Dawa's wife. So that is why he's attacking, Ali Dawa for
Yeah,
that. And I think, I think, yeah,
I didn't see this whole drama, so I can't really comment on it. But like,
yeah,
it
yeah,
sounds
but
typical.
yeah,
Like,
but it's very
I mean, isn't it funny?
typical of
Like,
David.
because in Christianity says to cover up. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's
brother Sydney football, brother Sydney
oh
football.
yeah, this is my yeah. I just posted our live stream link onto my channel, so I think some fans from my channel will come to your channel today. All right. So yeah, so
Walaikum
this is
salam,
one of
bro.
my strongest supporters. Walaikum salam warahmatullah, brother. So good to see brother
Indonesia
Sidi
have
football
Hindufa
here.
in their country. I don't
Yes.
know.
No, I don't think so. No, we don't. I mean, Indonesia doesn't really have much of a Hindu population. The Hindu Vas are actually in my country, Malaysia. We have a lot of Hindu Vas here in Malaysia, unfortunately. Okay, their largest temple is called Batu Caves, and it's just about 20-30 kilometers away from my home. So if you Google that, you would actually be able to see that I mean how the temple looks like and so on. Yeah, it's quite
All
huge
right,
actually.
let's continue,
Yeah.
inshallah.
side, and I didn't want to transfer
Yeah.
that emotion onto him. Don't shoot the messenger. But even as the initial shock wore off, I felt more frustrated and bitter with every video that I watched. My internal monologue went from, how could I have believed this, to, how could they believe this? How could they be so stupid and intellectually dishonest? I didn't perceive anything he said at the time to be explicitly hateful of Muslims, but he did exude a sense of superiority and disgust. He mentioned that he used to be very religious, yet he didn't speak like someone who understood what that was like. He spoke like someone who transcended that state of blind religiosity and now resented those who couldn't do the same thing he did. He acted like it's so unfathomable that people would believe in silly or harmful or hateful things, despite having been there himself. At the time, I made playlists of videos about Islam-related topics, and I often found myself omitting his videos videos from the playlists I would share with other people. I would have been too embarrassed to share his videos with a Muslim friend, for example, and I thought it was pointless anyway. His tone would have driven them away. After binge watching a bunch of his videos, I noticed the emotional toll it took on me, and I decided to take a break. And I later found my way back to ex-Muslim YouTube through channels like Ridvan and Friendly Ex-Muslim and half a dozen other Arabic channels. I still felt cheated and duped by Muslims in Islam, but that feeling started to subside gradually with time. Because I'm
How did you feel cheated exactly? He's saying a lot of things that I feel like needs to be debunked. Like which part of
Cheated.
like Muslims like doing what like felt like cheating to you? Because the thing is that the only thing I see as a Muslim from the ex-Muslims is that you guys are the ones who are lying about our religion, misrepresenting our position, and using fallacious argument.
I mean,
mistreat people.
basically, it
Who's the
is
cheater
you
here?
guys. You ex-Muslims are the ones who left Islam, and then you are using your title, your ex-Muslim title, to attack Islam and to make money off it. Because being an ex-Christian or ex-Buddhist or ex-Hindu doesn't make a lot of money, but being an ex-Muslim makes damn well a lot of money, and you can even sell books and film rights and so on. Okay, so that's basically what's happening here. Yeah.
Brother Sydney Football says, Fahad, did you watch Palestine 2 matches? No, I didn't see this match.
You're not a football fan, are you?
Yeah, I mean, I only watch like the World Cup when it comes out.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, brother Sydney says to unmod him. I think I'll have to go to my channel to do that.
I think you have to go to YouTube for that, right?
Yeah. Give me a second. Sorry. Yeah. Here we go. I think I'm gonna unmod him. How do you do that? Remove as standard moderator. Okay, I think he removed him. Add as moderator. Standard moderator. Okay, I did that. So hopefully that works. Yeah, I did that. I basically unmodded you and then modded you back in. Anyway, let's continue, shall we?
Human, and humans are social creatures. I found myself full of thoughts and emotions that I needed to discuss with someone. I had already spoken with Muslims in my life about issues I found in Islam way before I even learned about the existence of ex-Muslims. I had spoken to many sheikhs and faith counselors and family members and friends, and then I found myself online participating in ex-Muslim.
Speaking of like people,
I don't believe
are
him.
basically like random Muslims that doesn't have any knowledge.
I don't believe him anyway. Yeah, I think he's lying through his teeth anyway. Yeah, I doubt he has talked to anyone. Otherwise, if he had done his research, he would never have left Islam anyway. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what they do is basically they go to like random imam from the mosque. Obviously, you can't get knowledge that way. Like you have to first start from the basics. You have to learn the Aqidah, what it actually means. You have to go to read books by scholars, and
basically he needs to read books, instead of the novels that basically, I can see behind
reading is Islamophobia's biggest nightmare.
Exactly.
The more Islamic books you read,
can you see the titles? By the way, can you see the titles of the books that's behind him? Because they look like novels to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I can really see it, to be honest.
Yeah, could be novels. Yeah, I don't think they are scholarly works anyway.
Well, let's continue.
Spaces and eventually starting my own channel. That's when I rediscovered AP's channel, and that's when I paid more attention to the fights the da'wah men, the Muslim proselytizers, were picking with him. They were extremely intellectually dishonest, extremely off-putting characters, and so
how were they dishonest? Like, which part of what they said is dishonest? Like, he just slanders them without giving any reason.
so unapologetically hateful. I saw the way they twisted their own scripture and spewed hateful vitriol every chance they got. By comparison, AP was a polite and harmless angel, even though his humor wasn't always my cup of tea, a bit cringy and clowny at times.
Brainiac says it shut down all the communication to Muslim Allah, then wants to reach out to Muslims. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So I think he's referring to like Muslim Allah that oftentimes tries to talk to Muslims. I mean, like, why not like have a discussion with like actual Muslim like scholars or like apologists? Because or have a debate, But anyway, let's continue.
I recognize that it takes all kinds, and I appreciated how he bravely fought back against the abrasive dawah men of YouTube. He also served as a lightning rod that diverted a lot of negative
Bravely fought back against Ali Da. Like the way he's talking about Muslim apologists is like Muslim apologists came to their house and like beating them up or something. But the thing is that if you follow any of the drama that happened between like these ex-Muslims or like the Muslim apologists, it's usually started by the ex-Muslims. You know, they're the ones who are going out there insulting our prophet. They're the ones going out there mocking our prophet, you know, mocking our religion. Obviously, when you do that, any community, whichever community it is, they're gonna fight back. They're gonna hit back.
Exactly.
So
I mean,
I don't understand.
I started my journey into apologetics because there was this Christian back then. This was in early 2000s, before 2000s, in fact, 1999. Yeah, 1998, 1999. There was this forum where a Christian was challenging Muslims. So I decided to respond. Unfortunately, at the time, of course, my knowledge wasn't that great, but it slowly grew because I started to get interested. Oh, this Christian is really attacking Islam and questioning the Prophet Salam. So that was when I started actually reading the Bible for the first time, and then things went on from there. And now I have tons of books here, there, everywhere around me on Christianity and Islam. Okay. So I never planned to be an apologist. I mean, it's not
you
something that
fell in
I
love with
wanted
the
to
Bible
be
after
when
reading it. After
No,
reading how stupid it is.
actually, on the contrary, I became more energetic to destroy the Bible. So that's what happened. Instead of being impressed by the Bible, I wanted to destroy the contents of the Bible. So that's where I am today.
Oh yeah, brother Skipper Mouse says the only interesting part of the background is the toy cars. I didn't even notice that, but yeah, he has some toy cars.
I have better toy cars than him. Don't worry. I have some there. In fact, I have action figures in my studio, which are way larger than his collection. Okay, yeah. So it's nothing to be impressed about.
Yeah, let's continue. All right, so we're gonna only watch like 10 minutes of this because
attention away
we're
from
gonna
other
watch
ex-Muslim channels.
Apus
I spoke to him a couple
there.
of times over the years, and he mentioned how he liked riling up people and getting a reaction. And I'm not sure if that was his way of accepting his unfortunate position, or if he actually enjoyed being a part of the emotionally charged debate bro climate. People kept comparing me to him, many claiming that I'm a copycat or just another hateful Islamophobe. I was often asked to answer for his alleged misdeeds and public scandals, and I always maintained that we are two different people, and I don't have to answer for anything he says or does. I didn't keep up with his videos much, and I didn't notice any particularly hateful sentiments. I felt compelled to publicly rebuke him.
I mean, like your name is almost exactly the same. Like, can you like blame people?
And why does he even wear a mask? That's the question I always wondered. Why does he need to wear a
Yeah,
mask?
I mean, it's something I asked him as well. Like, and they talk about it also, but
about. So I kept on doing my thing and finding my purpose in this space. I made videos and live streams critiquing Islam, and I also spoke to believers every week. The more I spoke to them, the more I humanized them, and the less I felt personally offended by their harmful or absurd or hateful beliefs. As much as I tried to ignore AP's channel, I couldn't help but notice his increasingly frequent collaborations with David Wood, a Christian preacher who spends more time talking about Islam than Christianity. AP's channel had already
That's a fair
absolutely
point.
true.
That's actually a
He
fair point.
absolutely
Yeah.
talks about more about Islam than anything else.
He calls himself a Christian apologist, and yet he talks more about Islam and attacking Islam. He should call himself the hateful Islamic preacher or the hateful preacher against Islam. That would be more accurate. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he's promoting Islam better than we could.
It's also another thing. Yeah, I think there were some Muslims or some reverts who actually came to Islam because of his channel. So
yeah, I've heard that as well.
I came across one or two people
received a
like
significant
that.
following of non-Muslims, which is not in itself a bad thing. It is important for people to hear about the unappealing parts of Islam and life under Islam, which often go underreported by Muslims. The problem was the climate created by his channel's audience. Picture this: you're a Muslim or an ex-Muslim, and you tune into a live stream where an atheist and a Christian make cringy, lowbrow jokes about Islam for hours on end, with an audience of Christians and Hindus empathically cheering on. Imagine how disturbing and alienating and hostile that feels. I felt it, and countless other people reported feeling the same thing. I commonly hear stories about how AP's channel distressed questioning Muslims and ex-Muslims. It fits so perfectly.
Like, I like that he at least acknowledged this because this is true. I mean, that's like basically what he does. You know, like both Apus and David Wood, the whole content is there to make Muslims angry. This is gonna get them views. That's why they're doing it. And as a matter of fact, the video we're gonna watch, inshallah, their live stream response to this, they literally admit this. They literally admit that they're doing it for the views. That the whole chewing up the Quran and all this kind of like stance that they pull, they're doing it for the views. They even admit this. But we're gonna get to that, inshallah.
Yeah.
into the supposedly false narrative we were indoctrinated with, that anyone who criticizes Islam does it out of hatred, and they're probably rooting for a rival religion as well. It's one thing to raise awareness for the struggles of ex-Muslims and Muslims and anyone else harmed by the religion. It's another thing to pander to an audience's fear and make them feel personally persecuted even if they aren't. His channel became a place where you can find and cultivate hate rather than safety or a path to resolution. And whatever integrity and credibility AP had started to seem less and less evident. To sit in the company of a theist and mock another religion's far-fetched beliefs is truly a sight to behold. He sits around for hours reading silly super chats, letting David rave about Muslims worshipping a false prophet. Newsflash, as far as we know, all prophets are false prophets. At least that's what an atheist like AP believes. Or laughing about how Muhammad rode a flying horse to heaven, while David and his followers believed none. But guess who did it first? David Wood. Let's imagine for a second that an atheist who's vocally critical of religion, like Matt Dillahunty, for example, had an allyship with Muhammad Hijab, a Muslim preacher. Imagine them live streaming together for several hours a week, snickering at the absurdity of the Holy Trinity together, chuckling at how stupid someone has to be to believe that man could be God. Would you think that Matt is a brave and honest fellow who's masterfully exposing the truth about Christianity? Or would you think that he's a hypocrite and a grifter who sold his integrity for a devout audience and a monetary gain? Was all that AP went through really worth it if he now relies on super chats like these to pay the bills?
Ever since AP and Dizzle went to Israel, I have no one to whom to make filthy Mupus jokes about. Cows, goats, Ellen, trajectory, Dua Lipa, Muslim cowgirl.
Yeah, I didn't even see this. So basically, apparently, they put up the pictures of dead people. I think these are the victims of like October 7 or something. And then they have a super chat of like 50.
Yeah.
They're getting super chats $50, bro. For what?
It's crazy, man.
Ever since AP and Diesel went to Israel, I have no one to whom to make filthy. I'm not gonna say that jokes about
Censor,
how goes alien trajectory. Yeah, this is the kind of disgusting. By the way, I'm pretty sure this is a Hindu. Look at the name.
But the name is Ari Westerman. It sounds like a Jew or Zionist.
Could be. But anyway, look. So yeah, this is the kind of disgusting comments, and this is the kind of disgusting people that are paying them. You know, so of course they're gonna more appeal to these kind of extreme Islamophobes and hateful bigots. You know,
Not surprised. Not surprised. This is the crowd that they attract anyway. Islamophobes.
Yeah. So basically, and the thing is that social media algorithm is also kind of built in this way, where basically the more controversial you are, the more popular you become, and because they're already opposing something that is actually good. Islam is
it's not.
good.
Actually, it's not that. It's also about how frequently you can do live streaming, because I noticed that in the recent times, YouTube seems to prop up channels which do more frequent live streaming. So the more frequent you do live streaming, the more likely your channel will be up in the search.
Yeah, I mean, brother Shafi said,
this is from my channel as well. Walaikum salam. Yeah, this is another supporter of mine.
Yeah. So yeah, let's continue.
And Jizya stained ropes. Guess I felt strapped down. It's always feels so empty without us.
Oops, advertisement. Advertisement.
In reality, AP's situation is much more challenging than someone like Matt Dillahunty's. Despite Matt also being a bit abrasive and generally not an approachable teddy bear of a critic, he did not receive a fraction of the hate that AP did. He doesn't have to fear for his life or the safety of his loved one, unlike AP, who has received plenty of threats against himself and his family.
Oh no, poor AP, he is getting threats, bro. We must protect AP. You know, the guy that laughs and says that more Palestinian children should be killed. We should feel bad, bro. It's awful. You know, like, I mean, like, what do you expect? Like, when you behave like in this manner, in this disgusting manner, where you're saying things like, oh, you know, more Palestinians should be killed, you know, taking money from people who are saying disgusting things.
Yeah.
What do you expect is going to happen? Like, how do you think people are going to treat you? Like?
Exactly.
Taking all that into consideration, I can understand why AP might find allyship in David Wood when he couldn't easily find it elsewhere. But it doesn't excuse the person he has become. Maybe this was always his personality, and it's only coming to light now. Maybe it started with the hate he received from Muslims, or maybe David Wood's inability to feel empathy is rubbing off on him. Here's just one example of how they talk about the death of people they don't like, Palestinians.
And I need the West to understand something. Bombs kill people.
Whoa, did you know that? Wait. Did he say bombs kill people? I had no idea. Gosh, this guy should be president of the United States, man. I know it's insane.
I mean, like, first of all, they're not funny. Because the thing is that, you know, sometimes you have people that think they're funny. They make these jokes, but they're not funny. And it just falls flat. That's exactly what like they're doing. Because they're talking about people being killed, innocent people. And they're like, oh, you know, bombs kill people? I didn't know that. Oh, bombs kill people? I didn't know that. Like,
Of course, bombs kill people. Why is it a joke? I don't even understand. Why is he mentioning the obvious?
So basically, they're like trying to be sarcastic, but like the point of sarcasm is that like it needs to have some point. Like there needs to be some kind of punchline that makes it funny. Like simply saying the
Exactly.
opposite doesn't make
Exactly.
it funny. I
Exactly.
can say the opposite of anything. That wouldn't make it funny.
Yeah. Exactly.
So first of all, they're not funny. Second of all, they're saying disgusting things. That's horrible things, and saying it in such a manner that like it's just absolutely like insensitive and disgusting.
Yeah. I don't think he's saying if you drop a bomb on me, it sounds stupid what he's saying. Yeah. So, by the way, I also found
By the way,
out
they're gonna whine about this like an hour for like an hours on end on the stream.
Yeah.
So I found out that if you shoot somebody, they die too. Like if you shoot somebody in the head, it kills them, for example, because the bullet goes in there and it drills into your head and it kills you.
No, I think they just fall asleep and then they wake up.
You're probably misinformed, like most people.
But anyway,
It's cold-blooded psychopathy, but it's disturbing to say the least. Can you imagine saying this to the relative of a dead Palestinian or even a dead Israeli?
If you shoot somebody in the head, it kills them, for example, because the bullet goes in there and it drills.
One thing is clear.
why don't we shoot you in the head and see how that feels? So you would like it. Brother Brainiac says they even don't care about Arab Christians. Yeah. By the way, did you see that video Tucker Carlson made recently, where he basically interviewed a Christian Palestinian and what's going on with Christians in Palestine or in Gaza? So basically, he kind of exposes this hypocritical Zionist narrative that they're just there against like evil Muslim terrorists, when in reality they are also killing Christians, and a lot of them. So anyway, that's good.
Ever since he started allying with David, AP's vitriol and condescension has reached stratospheric heights. Despite him often saying that he doesn't hate Muslims, he usually follows it up with demonstrating that he pretty much does. You can really start to see it come to light after October 7th, when Hamas attacked unsuspecting Israelis, took hostages, and murdered over 1,000 people. Ever since, Israel launched multiple attacks on Gaza, murdering tens of thousands and injuring multiples more, with a lot of Palestinians now starving to death and unable to access humanitarian aid. Ever since October 7th, AP has...
Well, correction, Hamas didn't attack, they retaliated because Palestinians were already getting attacked. So this was a retaliation.
Because the story didn't happen on October 7th, it happened way earlier.
Yeah.
not stop unconditionally supporting and praising Israel's every move. He says the most dehumanizing things about Palestinians, while presenting himself as a fair and nuanced crusader of the truth. In this tweet, he recognizes that Israelis cannot be considered culpable and fair game just because they're Israeli. He understands the concept of an innocent civilian. While in this tweet, he responds to a picture of a woman's demolished home by saying, "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes." It is.
Yeah.
While in this tweet, he
Yeah. You know what's funny is that he's saying the exact same thing as Zionist apologists would say. I mean, they're the people that will say these kind of disgusting things. They will say things like, "Oh, all of people of Gaza are like basically terrorists." That's their argument. They don't make a distinction between actual civilians versus militants, right? And that's exactly what he's doing. But if this was like but when it comes to Jews and Israel, all of a sudden there is a distinction. So I think the point he's making, he's absolutely correct, which is that he clearly has a double standard when it comes to Muslims, which shows he hates Muslims. That's all what it's about. But anyway, I think we're going to end this here. We're going to now react to Brother Malcolm says, because David isn't even a Christian, David mocked off money from his fanboys when his son died. Money is his God. Yeah, I mean, I don't I don't disagree. I think David would definitely cares more about money than anything else, which is something we will see in the next live stream. Sorry, in this live stream, inshallah, the one we're going to react to. So we're going to end this here. I'm not going to watch any further because it's going to take too long. So stop screen, and then we're going to react to the response from David Wood and Apostate Prophet. Let me pull it up.
You should play that comment by Brother Malcolm X, the last one.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, I read it. Yeah, I read it. Because David Wood is a Christian. David mocked off money from his fanboys when his son died. Yeah, how much money did he steal, by the way?
Oh, by the way, the donation was supposed to be for 20K. He ended up receiving 200K. So the question is, where did 180K go to? Yeah, he probably bought a yacht with it. I don't know.
Probably bought a yacht in Israel. And
180K. Will you believe it? 180K. I don't believe that the cost of his son's funeral is 20K, by the way. But let's assume that it's 20K. Then where did 180K go? Because he got 200K. All right.
Yeah.
In donations. Yeah. That's the question.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I found the. Let's share the screen. Share. All right, so this is the one we're gonna now react to. I'm gonna speed it up a bit. All right, I think that's good enough. All right, bro, you ready? Ready for
Ready,
this?
ready. These leisures, he calls himself. What exactly? I don't understand. It's not funny,
Uh,
man.
all right, hold on. Let me pull up some of my references because we're gonna need them. Sorry, not this one. By the way, I think someone asked me in the comment if anyone watches Apus. To be honest, no.
No.
But and the only people that watches them is like the limited number of bigots.
Yeah.
This is why his channel never
Islamophobes.
grew beyond like the way it is now. But he's gaining audience from like the Zionist and like Hindutva. That's like his main audience. This kind of Islamophobes.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, let's continue.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Welcome to this live stream where we want to address critics and also terrorists and other things in the most respectful way. David, my old friend, how are you?
So basically, they're trying to do like an impersonation.
So he's trying to mock. He's trying to mock his good friend Apostate Aladdin.
This is hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
like look at this mood that's going crazy.
Split
That's
right through the
hilarious.
middle.
Yeah. I mean, like
Yeah.
they're doing our job for us. To be honest.
We don't have even have to leave a finger. They're fighting among each other. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Well played. Well played.
Good job.
Good job. Good job, guys.
Is that what the dude sounds like, or is that you? What is that? I don't know what dude you're talking about. That's me.
And by the way, like David Wood, like whatever he says, he just laughs like a psychopath, which he is. You know, even if
He
it's not
is.
funny.
He admits it himself
Oh,
anyway. So
it's like
it's
this.
not that we are forced accusing him or anything of the sort. Okay. He's
I mean,
proud of the
I
label
don't
of being called a psychopath. Mm.
Yeah, I think see, sometimes he just fakes it, and you can tell. I mean, like he clearly doesn't understand when to laugh and when not to laugh. But it's kind of creepy, really, if you think about it. You know, I don't know if you saw that TV show Dexter, or basically it's about a psychopath who doesn't understand human emotions, so he just laughs at the wrong moments, and people
Oh,
just
I don't watch the TV series. I know what TV series you're referring to, but I don't watch it. Yeah.
yeah, so sometimes you'll notice that he's clearly not. He doesn't understand when he's supposed to laugh or anything.
I have no idea what to do. I assume I've seen him
I
at some
guess it
point.
shows. I guess it
I
shows.
would advise David. I see your
You're
live.
you're impersonating one of those guys who wears a mask because I'm guessing you don't want jihadis to see his face or something.
This
One of
is
those
a
guys
very-
who's messing with us or something. Is that what he
This is a
sounds
very
like?
serious live stream, David, and I see you're laughing, and it's very disrespectful to laugh.
You're disrespectful, and so that's a situation where they want to take over like people's lands and they target Christians. But then you just have like just straight up criminal organizations. Like they don't really care. They don't really care about Islam or Christianity. Be attracted to them. Like you're 50. Is it a terrorist group or is it?
from the rapists and murderers. So
That's good.
uh,
Good
that's
one. I
a-
apologize. You're right. I'm wrong. I take back everything I've ever said about that child molesting, murdering, rapist mom.
Thank you. So yeah, today we want to talk about in Nigeria, a terrorist movement. Freedom fighters kidnapped a bunch of women and children.
By the way,
He's,
no one.
he's referring to Boko Haram, right?
Yeah, Boko Haram. No one is claiming Boko Haram is a resistance fighter.
Yeah, Boko Haram. Boko Haram
Who's
are not reason. Boko Haram are just a gang of thugs who have nothing to whatsoever to do with Islam. Okay, I think this. Actually, I have this series. I call it the Muslim African series, which I had recorded with a brother from Nigeria. He actually explained who are the Boko Haram, and then he tells us about the history of Islam in Nigeria and so on. I haven't had the time to edit these videos yet, so it's actually it's really going to be very interesting once I have the time to edit and release those videos. They are like about there's about 10 of them, 10 of this video series, 10 of these videos in this series which I recorded with this brother. So the issues of Boko Haram, Islam in Nigeria, the politics of Nigeria, how Islam came to the region, etc. All these things are actually discussed in this series. And Boko Haram is not part of Islam, never been considered to be part of the Muslims anyway. Okay, so they are this foreign group
so
which has
basically
nothing whatsoever to
what
do
he's
with the
doing
locals.
is this straw man argument fallacy. He's just
Yeah.
strawmanning, which is what he does.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
normal. It's
but-
normal for them. I mean, whenever they see any so-called terrorist groups appearing, claiming to be in the name of Islam, they immediately say, "Oh, look, you Muslims are violent." But they don't. They seem to forget that in Christianity, even there is a history of Christian terrorist organizations anyway. So,
yeah, I'm going to talk about that. I have a lot of reference in regards
yeah.
to what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Because
long
I don't
list
know-
of it. In fact,
I don't know if
Yeah.
you're familiar with what's happening in Central African Republic. So Muslims, I think, are a minority there, and Christians are absolutely terrorizing them. There's been multiple massacres and exodus
I haven't been
of
following
these villages.
CAR. Yeah, I wouldn't know that about that. Yeah.
Inshallah, I'll show what I'm talking about. Let's continue.
All right.
in
All right.
their quest to do whatever they want to do. Do you know about this, David? Have you
I
listened to
saw something. Is it a terrorist group, or is it because you got a couple of different groups? You have the actual like Islamic State like terrorist groups, and they're all in competition. So you got like Boko Haram and so on. But you have a bunch of
I
like
love how David would act like he knows what he's talking about when it's so obviously clear he doesn't. He didn't do any research. He's just talking. Oh, there's a bunch of different groups. Really, what groups are there?
related groups, and there are lots of they're in competition because they're competing for attention because they want the younger people to be attracted to them. Like you're a 15-year-old, you want to go wage jihad, you want to be the most popular group to join. But they also have some other groups like the Fulani herdsmen and so on, and so that's a situation where they want to take over like people's lands and they target Christians. But then you just have like just straight up criminal organizations. Like they don't really care. They don't really care about Islam or Christianity. They would probably tend to target Christians more because there'd be less concern of retaliation. But yeah, so I saw something circulating about a bunch of girls getting kidnapped, and it was similar to the Chibok girls from like a decade ago. But I didn't see who was responsible.
Yeah, so apparently, according to the news, it is indeed the Islamic terrorist group Boko Haram that attacked civilians and attacked a school.
And so that's a situation where they want to take over like people's lands and they target Christians. But then you just have like just straight up criminal organizations. Like they don't really care. They don't really care about Islam or Christianity. They would probably tend to target Christians more because there'd be less concern of retaliation.
Yes, like Muslims just goes around in Africa and just targets Christians, right? That's what happens. Okay, well, let's actually learn what's actually going on in some parts of Africa, because the way that like he's like talking about like what's happening in Africa, he's just acting as if like Africa is just full of like these terrorist Muslims, and like all Muslims in Africa are just going around like kidnapping people, which is not true. As a matter of fact, let's see what Christians are up to in Africa. So let me just share something with you guys. This is an article that I found a long time ago. Actually, I wanted to make a video on this, but never had the chance to make a video on this. But it's actually a very gruesome story, and this is actually this is what caught my attention regarding what's happening in Central African Republic. Can you see it?
Yep, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. So can you read the headline?
It says CAR cannibal why ate a man's leg.
Yeah. So let's read some of it, inshallah.
Okay. Religious violence in the Central African Republic has reached a new extreme with an act of cannibalism in the capital, Bangui. The BBC's Paul Wood, I hope no relation to David Wood, has heard a graphic first-person account which some might find upsetting. The buses throwing up clouds of red clay dust had yet to rub out the ugly blood stain in the dirt. Okay. A Muslim man had been murdered here a few days ago by the Christians. His limbs were hacked off. Oh my God. Then one of the crowd ate the flesh in a public demonstration of cannibalism. Okay.
All right.
Wow.
So
Wow.
let me explain a little bit of context, right? So basically, in CAR or Central African Republic, there was a armed militia. Basically, their name was Salaka or something like that. I could be getting the name wrong, but yeah. So basically, there's an armed militia which had a lot of Muslims members, but it was not some kind of Islamic group, or it was not some kind of Islamist terrorist group. But because there were a lot of Muslims members, some Christians decided to had the bright idea and thought that, since Muslims are going around attacking, we could do the same thing. Now, this militia group was actually dissolved later on. And then later on, Christians formed another group, right? So this is basically known as the anti-Balaka, I believe, anti-Balaka. And this group were encouraged by the rampant Islamophobia there. And so basically in CAR, or Central African Republic, Muslims are constantly being attacked. And this is one of those examples. And if you read further, you can see this. For example, he continues. Can you read the rest of it? Right there, you're muted.
Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah. So which paragraph?
Uh,
Oh my God. Okay. We were filming nearby when a young man in yellow t-shirt came up to talk to me. I'm the naughty one, he said in broken French. Puzzled, I shook his hand and was trying to. Okay, and I noticed the machete tucked into his skinny jeans. I'm the naughty one. With a sickening feeling, I
can I
realized
just
I was talking
can I
to a
just say
cannibal.
something,
Okay,
bro? Can I just say something? I
sure,
think
sure,
he
go
got
ahead.
possessed by the Holy Spirit. He just like this person is clearly psychopathic, just like David Wood, right?
Exactly,
And the thing
exactly.
is that what's funny is that I think there's some reference to cannibalism in the Bible. Is that, am I like too wrong?
Mm,
Because I've actually read that, although I'm pretty sure Bible doesn't allow cannibalism or anything like that, and I'm not saying that this has anything to do with Christianity, but you can clearly see that this person has a massive hatred for Muslims. And now, to be fair, the cannibal's name is Onjidea Maglore. He's also known as the Mad Dog. So this is like the Christian mafia there. This is like the anti-Balaka. Not anti-Balaka, but like they're like, I think there are different groups that hunts Muslims or like goes against Muslims. I'm going to show a lot of other examples of this. Or Muslims are often attacked by people like this kind of like Christian mobs. And and what's funny is that when he says that why he attacked him, he said that he looked like a Muslim. Like I don't even know what that means. Like was he wearing like a tupi or like? But anyway, so he was killed in a very brutal way, and this is clearly not normal behavior. And if you understand the context, you can clearly see that the reason why this happened is because they just hate Muslims, you know, and people like David Wood are egging them on because these are Christians. So when these people, if these people sees his videos, obviously they're gonna get encouraged, you know, because he's only showing, and this is what I find funny, right? Like, so David Wood has massive issues with when Muslims are kidnapping people, which, okay, fine, you know, you can have issues with that, but then why are you not reporting things like this? You know, also it's not like this is just the only time this happened. Let me show some other examples. For example, there's one report by Human Rights Watch, which let me pull it up. Let me share the screen. Yeah, this one, Central African Republic, Muslims held captive and RAPED. Again, this is also happened in Central African Republic. So attacking Muslim there has become like almost like a daily routine. Can you
When
read?
was this? When was this report released? By the way, okay, is there a date?
Uh, it was released in
April.
2015, but this group
Oh,
is still
okay.
active. Even in 2023, there was a massacre,
Hmm.
or I think it's 2022. There was a massacre on Muslim villages.
That's horrible, man.
But yeah, so can you read some of it, inshallah?
Let me see. I need to hang on. Okay. Central African Republic, Muslims held captive, and you know that word because you can't say it out loud.
Hmm.
UN government should free ethnic. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Women, children held by anti-Balaka.
So this
Nairobi, at
anti-Balaka
least.
is basically the Christian terrorist group.
Ah,
You know,
okay. At least 42 Muslim herders, mostly women and girls, are being held captive by anti-Balaka fighters in the Central African Republic and are at risk of sexual violence, Human Rights Watch said today. There are reports that many others may also be held. United Nations peacekeepers and the government should urgently act to free them. Members of one family Human Rights Watch interviewed on April 13th, 2015 described the horrors they endured during 14 months of captivity in Pondo, a village in the southwest. The anti-Balaka killed two boys aged about 6 and 7 and three young women and girls, one of whom became ill and died in captivity. her year-old baby died of malnutrition. Oh my God, that's horrible. The surviving family members were rescued on April 4th and 5th.
Okay,
Wow,
so
that's horrible, man. I don't know if I want to
Christian
continue
sounds
reading this, man.
these Christians sound so nice, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah,
this is what David Wood,
yeah,
this is what David Wood is
yeah,
trying to portray. Oh, Christians are just
yeah,
victims, they're innocent.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
no, Christians can be terrorists as well. Okay, they can very much be as brutal, if not more brutal, than Boko Haram, and yet no one is reporting this. This group is still active, by the way. They get hired by even governments, and they're going around butchering Muslims. So this is the kind of I wanted to highlight this. I know that this is very violent and gross, and I'm going to show some more reports of this, which is even more violent than this. It's absolutely gruesome. But the thing is that no news articles talks about African Muslims and what they're facing or what they're going through. So when they face things like this, of course they're going to join violent gangs, like violent groups like Boko Haram. I'm not saying that's right, but you have to see things in context. So because Muslims feel like they have no protection and the government does nothing. So why is it that David Wood and Apus have some massive issues when Muslims kidnap, they kidnap like Christians, but when Christians do the same, all of a sudden they're silent. Because the thing is that I have no problem condemning what Boko Haram does, because kidnapping people is not allowed. As the Prophet Salam
Yes,
says,
of course,
in the Hadith
of course.
says that anyone who takes a free person and sells them as a slave, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will be against that person on the day of judgment.
Exactly.
Right? So
Yes, there's a hadith. Yeah, it's a hadith. Yeah, it's a Sahih hadith. Yeah.
So, and the thing is that, like, even if you're not a Muslim, clearly I hope that you can see the hypocrisy these people have and the hatred they have. They clearly have hatred towards Muslims. That's why they're doing
Yeah,
this.
they definitely
Otherwise,
do.
we would talk
Yeah,
about Africa in general. And it's
exactly.
not like, there's only Muslim extremist group there. There are Christian extremist group there. There are secular
Exactly.
extremist group there.
Exactly.
But these people are dishonest, especially because they only want to focus on Muslims. Now,
Yep.
there are also other reports of like them forcefully converting Muslims. It's also done by this same group. Let me share it. This Amnesty. Sorry. Not this guy. This one. Let me pull it up. Share the. Walaikum Assalam. Let me share the screen. Here we go. Central. Can you see it?
Yep, I can.
So this is another report by Amnesty International. I think it came out in 2015. Central African Republic, unprotected Muslims forced to abandon religion. Muslims returning to ethnically cleansed area of Western Central Africa, African Republic, CAR, have in some cases been forced to abandon their religion, said Amnesty International in report published today. So basically, it almost turned into like the age of Jahiliyyah. They're being forced out of Islam. These Christian extremists forcing them out of Islam. The report revealed how Muslims who have returned to their home in large parts of Western CAR following the 2014 killing spree and mass forced displacement are barred by, again, as you can see, armed anti-Balaka militia. This is like the Christian terrorist group. From practicing or manifesting their religion in public. Some have been forcibly converted to Christianity on the threat of death. Amnesty Senior Crisis Response Advisor Jonah Minor said, having forced tens of thousands of Muslims to flee Western CR, anti-Balaka militias are now repressing the religious identity of hundreds of Muslims who remained or have returned. So you can clearly see they're forcing Muslims to become Christians. Which, by the way, I believe the Crusaders did the exact same thing, right? Bro, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah. You were saying?
The Crusaders also did the same thing, right?
Oh yes, there was this was actually chronicled by a non-Muslim historian. He said that when the Crusaders invaded Jerusalem, the city was bathed in blood right up until the knees. Okay, that was how bad it was, and that was the situation at the time. So imagine that. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and and of course David Wood doesn't have any issue with this. But
Hmm.
if Muslims does it, it's a problem. But as long as
if a
Christians
if a
do it,
Muslim does it, oh, he'll definitely scream to kingdom
yeah,
come about it. But if a Christian does it, oh, it's fine, it's okay. We just keep quiet about it, and hopefully everyone forgets
yeah,
about it. Yeah, that's what he'll do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I found another uh, funny news. Not funny; it's kind of horrible. But supposedly they're also burning women for being witch, which
My
is also
God.
something the Christians used to do in the
Exactly. This
past.
was, yeah,
Yeah,
in the Salem.
Salem's
It's a
lot, right?
Salem. Yeah, the Salem witch hunts.
Witch trial.
Yes, that's right. Yes, witch trials. Yeah,
They
yeah,
used to do this. So
yeah,
they're
yeah.
bringing back traditional Christianity, not unlike this kind of like supposed Christian conservatives. They're the real Christian conservatives. You know?
No, because in when it comes to Apus and David Wood, one of them is a Christian pretending to be an atheist, and another is an atheist pretending to be a Christian. Yeah, no prizes
Yeah,
for guessing who is whom. Yeah, no
yeah,
surprises for guessing who represents whom. Okay, because the guy
yeah.
claiming to be a Christian is definitely not a Christian. He behaves like an atheist. Okay.
Hmm, absolutely. And there are more, uh, but we'll talk about it. Let's watch some of other nonsense that
Yeah,
they say,
yeah.
and we'll comment, inshallah.
But yeah, so I saw something circulating about a bunch of girls getting kidnapped. It was similar to the Chibok girls from like a decade ago.
Wa
But
wa
there's
alaikum salam wa
Joining?
rahmatullah.
Well, apparently, according to the news, it is indeed the Islamic terrorist group Boko Haram that attacked civilians and attacked a school and then began kidnapping children. And it is reported that they kidnapped around 300 children and also hundreds of women in order to use them to press their demands and their goals and all of that. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that because recently we've learned that, for example, Hamas employed similar tactics. They went into the civilian population, massacred a bunch of people, and also raped and kidnapped a bunch of.
So yeah, he's committing another fallacy. Like the Hamas situation and like Boko Haram situation is no way similar. First of all, like the Palestinians are fighting for their land. Here, the terrorist is actually the Israelis. They're on their land illegally. So of course, if they take force, if they kill civilians, of course that's wrong. But like based on like they're not wrong to like fight their militias, like fight their army, because they didn't just attack like civilians on October 7th. They also attacked their army as well. So he completely. So basically, what the Zionists do is they mix these two things up, together to make it seem like they just attacked innocent people, and really they also attacked like their armies as well. You want to add something, bro?
Nothing much to add. It's just that the hypocrisy is obvious, right? If a Muslim does it, oh, you make noises about it. But if it's a Christian group, yeah, let's pretend they don't exist. I mean, that's pretty much what it boils down to, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's continue.
People, but that is all excusable because they're doing that as within the frame of fighting.
Also, like the Boko Haram is not like living in a concentration camp, so I don't think like these two situations in any way comparable. But
I don't think he even knows what Boko Haram is anyway. So
for freedom and fighting oppression and all of that. And
Yeah.
then, of course, things that you condemn become suddenly okay.
yeah, isn't that interesting? See, there won't be much retaliation against these guys because they have kind of free reign in Nigeria. But imagine where you had a strong government that wanted to do something about these terrorists, and they said, we're going to go get these guys. And like the entire world starts screaming, no, ceasefire, 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 man. They took all these girls. They took all
like is this guy like how like moronic do you have to be to say that when Israel is butchering innocent people, and when people say, hey, maybe you should stop, that is the same as like some government fighting Boko Haram.
it's
Like,
totally not the same thing, man. Totally not
how
the same
does
thing.
that logic like are you dumb? Obviously he's
I
not
mean-
dumb. He understands this. He's using fallacious argument purposefully to mislead his audience.
Yes, yes. I mean, if he thinks that the Palestinian resistance movement is similar to Boko Haram, then he needs to have his head examined. He needs to actually reread history again and see how Hamas was formed, how the resistance movement, with movements in Palestine began against Israel. Because these are not groups which suddenly appear at random and attack civilians and kill civilians and for no reason at all. So unlike Boko Haram, okay, yeah, very
So
much
basically,
unlike
here
Boko
he's
Haram.
committing the hasty generalization fallacy. Basically, he's
Oops, I think your
generalizing.
video didn't. I think your video came out too quick. Yeah.
Let me just. Here we go. This one.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, they're committing the hasty generalization fallacy. They're saying that,
Yep.
oh,
Yep.
because some people in Palestine committed a crime, if all of them committed a crime, which doesn't
Yeah.
logically follow.
Yep.
Same thing
Exactly.
with Africa. Like if some Boko Haram commits a crime, this doesn't mean all Muslims in Africa are committing crime. That's racist. Like I don't know like how else to say it. Because the thing is that this is how these fascist, evil scumbags justify killing children. They
Exactly.
generalize.
Exactly. Yeah, just because Boko Haram kills children, it doesn't mean that Hamas, that the resistance movement
And the thing is that
will want to kill children. Okay.
these Christian terrorist groups like Anti-Balaka, this is the same kind of logic they'll use, right? Oh, look, this is what the
Yes.
Muslims are doing. Wherever they go, they're just trouble, so they're all guilty of this.
Yes.
And this is exactly how they operate.
Exactly.
And
And the
this is exactly the
cycle.
logic he's using.
Exactly. And this cycle of violence will continue until either or both of them are dead. You see, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean,
Also,
you cannot
another
compare
thing-
what's happening in Africa with what's happening in Palestine. You see, totally two different situations.
Yeah. Another
Yeah.
thing that I'm gonna point out regarding kidnapping people, which is not allowed. Let me
Yeah.
just share the screen. So this is the hadith I'm talking about. It's in Sahih Bukhari. It is narrated by Abu Huraira.
Yeah.
Can you see it, by the way?
You probably need to zoom in because I can't see it.
Yeah. Can you see it now?
Yep, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the hadith says the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah says, "I will be against three persons on the day of resurrection. One who makes a covenant in my name, then he proves treacherous." By the way, this already debunks any terrorist group, because in order for you to be a terrorist group, you have to betray your leader, right? So this already debunks any ISIS, any Boko Haram, because the thing is that it has to be done by an actual leader that all the Muslims agree should be in the not all Muslims, like the what do you call it, the Shura Council, or the Muslim kind of like intellectual authorities has to decide that this is the leader, and Muslim body in general have to give bayah to him. That's how like we choose leaders, right? Like a caliph, proper caliph. So this already debunks like any terrorism accusation, because also clearly said the one who makes a covenant in my name that proves treacherous. Because like thing is that if you have a treaty with like another people, a group of people, you cannot attack or harm those people. If you're like in a country that obviously you have like this covenant that you don't attack this other group of people. So this already debunks this, but then it also goes to say one who sells a free person as a slave and eats the price, which means you cannot kidnap people. You cannot just take a person and then sell him as a slave. That's clearly not allowed. And then another one is the one who employs a laborer and gets the full work done by him but does not pay his wages. What's funny is that I think Israel did something similar to this recently. They basically hired a bunch of Palestinian workers, then refused to pay them because the war and whatnot, even though they didn't do anything. Anyway, so this is just something I wanted to clarify. So what Boko Haram does has nothing to do with Islam. However, what Anti-Balaka does actually does have something to do with Christianity. So let me show how. Yeah, so for example, now obviously we know these examples, but let's take a look at Numbers 31. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring this up later. Let's just continue because I think they'll bring this up. So let's just continue and I'll bring it up later.
All these girls are over there in the woods raping them, but ceasefire. Sound like a bunch of idiots.
Indeed, they do. So let us look into. I feel like the dumbest person in the world right now with these things.
Don't worry, you are the
Can you imagine if I appeared like this on every video?
like you don't have to do anything extra special. Bro, are you there? You're muted. I can hear you, bro. Hello? I can hear you.
Hello, testing.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh,
Can
I
hear
think
you.
this is a different mic now. I'm using my camera's mic now, and this is not a good thing because I'm supposed to use this, so it's not working.
Uh,
Okay, never mind. It's all right. Yeah, never mind. It's okay. Yeah. So yeah,
uh,
yeah. I mean,
Hello, friends.
just continue. Yeah.
yeah, sure.
By the way,
Yeah,
when
why
you
is
do
she
roll like that,
wearing glasses now?
I get why some of the women do that.
Yeah.
They get a completely different kind of attention from the keyboard jihadis than we get. They get attacked in all the same ways as us, except for several.
Of being noticed by people. So they are kind of cowardly.
By the way,
they kind of
he
fearful
just
and cowardly way
gets
trying to
off the
hide
mask.
behind
Do you
behind something as
realize
thin as
why?
this. I look like a rapist right now with my mustache. And you,
Like, why
Well,
would you
I don't know.
do
It's not
this to
funny.
yourself?
I don't know. It's not funny
Like,
to me at all. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand the joke. I don't understand
mean,
the
like,
joke at all. Yeah.
I mean, like it's one thing, like to keep the beard. He just looks like a mushroom. Like, I don't know. Like, I
Oh,
don't
he
wanna like.
shaved himself. Oh, okay. Oh, he shaved himself. Okay, okay, okay. I just
He
noticed.
like he look.
I just
To
it
be
doesn't
honest,
matter
kind of.
anyway. To be honest, if he look even if he shaves himself, I wouldn't notice because he looks just like an idiot, the retard that he is anyway. So doesn't matter whether he shave himself or otherwise. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
he just
like,
look like a dumb asshole. Yeah,
I don't wanna like mock it how he looks, but like
maybe you should shave the
this
mustache
has
though, so
this
that
has
it
got to be like
fits
the
here.
worst look I've ever seen. Just,
Yeah.
bro, just keep the mask on.
even I'm not out here. So
What happened to your beard, dude? Start being a man. What's wrong with you, man?
I didn't make this cringy jokes, but let's continue.
I know
so
why
what
is
happened is that a
it's
bunch of
cringy, dude. I mean,
amazing
why is
freedom
it
fighters
funny?
apparently.
It's not even funny.
Remember you started saying that?
They're the
not
only ones
even
that
funny,
find
yeah.
their own jokes funny. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't find it funny
to
at all, man.
attack me and ask for what you think.
Oh, wait, it's been going on.
I mean, he's been doing it on a smaller scale, but then
Don't you like promote this guy's channel or something here?
yes, that's what I wanted to talk about. Here's my YouTube channel. Look, here's my YouTube channel. You can see here my YouTube channels right here. Now here's my featured channels list. Look, here's Rebecca, here's you, here's Nuria Khan, Sal, ex-Muslims. For some reason, there's Farid here, and then
Oh, that makes perfect sense. We should promote all these. Matter of fact, that's an awesome. I'm gonna make my entire featured channels all the Dawa channels. That'd be awesome.
By the way, I love how like he has Brother Farid's channel in there, which is good because it this helps his channel, so more people
Yeah.
can become a Muslim.
Yeah, I don't think Pussy will link to me anytime soon anyway because I have a whole playlist debunking him, exposing him in one of our debate, well, our only debate. I actually
Yeah, I think
managed to expose that him on those 3 points. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think what I found
You were
funny
saying?
is that basically that a lot of these ex-Muslim, they think that if you read the Quran, this will make you an ex-Muslim somehow. But then they into like channels
That's
like
stupid.
Farid Response and Muhammad Hijab, and like they go to this channel, they end up becoming Muslim. like
Exactly.
it's not the W that you
Exactly.
guys think
Yeah.
it is.
Exactly.
Like, it makes absolutely no sense
Yeah.
that if you just read the Quran, you're gonna become ex-Muslim. It's more likely the opposite, and that's exactly
No,
what happens.
it's going to be
Because
the
I've seen
opposite.
so many people.
Especially if
Going
you
to Brother Farid's
especially if you are sincere looking for the truth. Definitely, once you read the Quran, you will realize that the Quran is Islam is the truth. Okay, because that's exactly what happened to me anyway. Yeah, so it's kind of when I read the Bible from cover to cover, at the end of it, I was repulsed by it. But when I read the Quran, I realized that this has to be the truth, man. There's no way that the Quran is lying or is a fabrication. Okay, because the way the Quran extols on certain points, especially on Tawheed, you don't find this in the Bible. The Bible does mention Tawheed, but in very primitive forms, whereas in the Quran it actually elaborates, the sifah of Allah, and why
Yeah,
Allah is one, why God cannot be more than one, this kind of things,
yeah,
and
and
it criticizes the
not just
Trinity.
that,
It's so clear.
not just that,
It's so clear. Yeah.
not just that.
Yeah.
Sorry, not just that. So basically, the Quran debunks any counter arguments before the counter argument is even made. So basically,
Exactly. And you don't find this in the Bible. You don't find this in the Bible. Bible just says, believe God is one. You don't believe in God, will burn you. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But
Like,
I mean, I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just that it may not be appealing to some people. I mean, why would you want to burn me simply because I don't believe in one God? You see, whereas the Quran gives
Also,
persuasive arguments on why you should believe in one God. That's the difference. That's
also
the
like in the
inherent
Bible,
difference
like
that I
you
find
constantly
between the
find these
Bible and the Quran.
stories of like mythology, like
Yes,
this group going to this
yes.
group, destroying this group, this other group rising
Mm.
up. There's like 100
Yeah,
kings.
the Amaleks. I mean, the Amaleks. These kind of stories. And then we have creatures like leviathans, dragons, weird animals that we don't even know what they look like. These things are not present in the
And
Quran.
I think some
The
Bible
closest I
even
think
mentions.
I, th- I think
I think some
I think
Bible
there's only
even
one
mentions.
creature in yeah. Yeah, in the Quran, there's only one animal which is mystical, and it's called the dabba, which will only appear at the end time. So I mean, it's totally logical and acceptable to believe this. But in the Bible, it says that in the past there were creatures like leviathans, dragons, creature. There are so many creatures that are listed. So actually, I have a list of them here, but I can't find it at the moment. Yeah. So yeah. So
Anyway,
why
yeah.
are these
So
creatures present in the Bible, and what do they have to do with the truth of
yeah,
God? You see,
yeah. So
so
basically, this is
this,
the
yeah,
kind of stories you'll find in the Bible. But let's continue, Shalom.
And here's
exactly,
Apostate Aladdin. Look at that.
exactly. Yeah, let's
Look
go
at that.
ahead.
I've had him on here on my featured channels list for a while.
Wait, does he pronounce it Aladdin?
I don't know.
All right, let's just
It's not my
continue.
fault. I don't know what to do about it. So guys, videos go ahead. I had no idea. So what do you guys think about the conflict? And I say, what I always say, well, I think Israel should be much harsher. What do I think of the Israeli English-speaking world? Okay,
that was just an introduction.
Given how I chose to begin this video,
Why
I know it's
why
easy
is
to assume
he
that this is a
why
video
is he
Israel
laughing at this?
I don't know.
Why is he laughing at his own?
Oh, okay. I think
What's so
like
funny about that, man?
I think David Wood made like some kind of donkey noise, and he just found it funny.
Uh,
I
why
think
is it funny? I don't understand. I really don't get it. I don't get it. Man.
you know what. Let me
Maybe you
slow
can
down.
replay that.
Yeah.
Yeah, slow it
videos
down
right
so
now
that I
because,
understand
it
what the
doesn't
hell
pay
are
much
they
to be an
laughing.
Islamic
What the hell
Yeah,
is
my
he
name
laughing
is
about?
Giuseppe. Here to fix the cable.
What is that funny? It's not funny at all, man. Is that funny? Is that funny?
No,
Honestly,
no.
do you find that funny? Because I don't. I don't find it funny. Maybe
All right.
my humor bones are not.
While I do my best to choose my words carefully,
Maybe my
humor
humor
despite
sensors are
is a
not
bias.
working. I don't know.
Be sure
I
to
need
get your
the
ninth
West to
COVID shot.
understand bombs kill people.
Oh,
Did you know
I
that?
do. Wait. Whoa. Hey, there's me. Hey, bombs kill people? Classic D Wood. Did he
He's
say
laughing
bombs
at his
kill
own
people?
joke,
Oh,
which
dude.
is not even funny. He's laughing
Yeah.
at his own joke, which he
Like
made,
these
which
people are
wasn't funny
so
in the first
cringe.
place.
Like honestly, their level of cringe is so cringy that you have to find a new dictionary or new word.
I mean, I like I like stand-up comedy, but I don't find this funny at all. I don't really get the joke on why he thinks that when he says that bombs kill people and that's supposed to be funny, because it's not. It's totally not funny.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think they're like evangelical humor maybe. You know how evangelicals
No,
say
it's not funny at all.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
saw some videos of like these evangelical preachers like shouting about
Okay.
sperm. They're so excited,
Okay.
and it's just funny, but they don't realize it's funny. So maybe they just think that
I know. This is not
saying
funny at
that.
all. I can tell you that.
The video's kind of quiet.
It is
It's
not
not my
funny.
fault.
I don't know what
what
he
to do
do.
about it. Guys, videos go ahead. I had no idea. So what do you guys think about the conflict? And I say,
Okay, this one.
well, I think Israel should be much harsher. What do I think of the
So, so he just made a noise.
What's
right?
so funny
David
about
Wood.
this? Yeah, he said
I,
"woo."
I don't know.
That's it. Yeah, that's what he said. Woo. Why is it funny? Why is it funny, man? Woo. Why? Why is it funny? I don't find it funny at all. Yeah, and he's laughing at that. So
Israeli
weird.
English-speaking world?
Okay,
It's in 2023.
that was just an
Palestine.
introduction.
Given how I chose to begin this video, I know it's easy to presume that this is a video about Israel and Palestine, but it isn't. The problem I want to talk about today predates October 7th of 2023. This problem is difficult to define or pin down, but I'll give it my best shot. Its symptoms are evident in the conduct of one of the most popular explosive news.
You know what's one of the main reasons why I just said I wouldn't. I don't really know, but obviously right now this just comes to my mind. You asked me why I got so popular and these people did not. One of the main reasons
Oh, here we go. Check this out.
is probably
Apus is gonna explain why he does YouTube.
Okay.
that I don't talk like this and don't start my videos like this. I'm not trying to write. Not trying to make it sound like an academic paper written by somebody who's trying to get into college. This
Like, how is he sounding like an academic paper? Have you ever read an academic paper? You know what that looks like. How is this like an academic
Is he
paper?
trying to make a joke here? Because I don't think this guy has any shred of academic credibility. Okay, zero credibility when it comes to academia.
Like,
Okay,
I mean, how is this academic? Like, he's just saying that, like, you're a stupid YouTuber who takes advantage of, like, rage, people's rage, and hating Muslims. Like,
yeah,
that's not. How is that academic? Like,
it's not. It's totally not academic.
This is YouTube.
I would just openly and directly say things in a human way. That's probably so Apostate Aladdin, if you're wondering why the imbalance here, maybe try to appeal to people and don't try to sound like a complete nerd.
Hey,
Which
hey,
there's nothing wrong with it, but just be more direct.
so basically, his great response is just calling me a nerd. You know.
Well, he's not totally wrong, by the way. I
Hey,
think when it comes to presentation, when it comes to marketing, because I'm in the field. Okay, I'm in the field of digital marketing, and yes, you need to actually appeal to your audience in a certain way. I think the way that the techniques or the methods that the psychopath and his gay friend here does is actually, you have to admit that it's quite appealing to the audience, and audiences, it's human nature to like to be entertained by that kind of antics. But of course, in the long run, it does make you look stupid. Okay, but but I think he does have a point when he said that when Apusi says that you must not look like a nerd and you must be more appealing to your audience. I think that's what it's essentially, and you have
How
to
is
admit
Apus
that.
appealing? That's what I don't get.
From an emotional point of level, which we
Huh?
know is of course not appealing at all in that sense. Okay, but you have to admit that Apostate Aladdin does look like a nerd here. Okay, yeah, he does look like a nerd. So
Apostate
I
Aladdin.
think that's
Yeah,
why he's
notice
trying.
we're
That's why
trying
he's
to help
trying to
you here.
say. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, David Wood
Okay.
will basically admit why he does YouTube. That's just
People decide. People
Yeah.
click on a video. Like, let's suppose. So your title here, "The Dark Side of Anti-Islam YouTube." That's not a bad title. But people click on it, and it's like, oh, let me warn you for the first 10 minutes of the video that you might hear something that may be offensive to you in here. And then you start off,
Not funny at all.
the Apostate Prophet, it's not about. People decide in the first few, after clicking, people decide in about the first 10 seconds whether they're going to continue watching. And all that you've got in that
That's
first
actually
10
correct.
Oh, really? Really?
That's
You're
actually
telling me
true.
that
Yeah.
YouTube values
No.
retention and the watch time? Oh my God, who could have known? No one in YouTube could have known this unless David Wood brought this to us. Where did
Yeah,
this
he's
revelation
trying to
come
teach.
from?
Basically, he's trying to teach Apostate Aladdin the basics of YouTube algo. Yeah. So
No
yeah,
way
yeah.
YouTubers could know this. Oh my God, David Wood is so
There's
smart.
no way. There's no way that a YouTuber after 2 or 3 years could know about this secret sauce that everyone that only David Wood knows about. So I'm telling it to you right now for free. Yeah. See. Hello. Hello. Are you there? Oh no. I think our brother Islamic calling has suddenly lost connection. So I'm just going to wait for him for a while, right? It looks like he froze for a moment there. Okay, he's back. He's back. Oh yeah, you froze.
Yeah,
I don't know why you froze.
yeah.
What happened?
Technical issues. Sorry about that, guys. Don't worry.
It's
To
alright.
roast.
Yeah, happens.
Back to roasting.
It happens.
Uh,
Yeah.
what
You were
were you
frozen there
saying?
for several minutes and
I think
you were
I think
frozen
the
there for
Holy
several
Ghost,
minutes and you look
Holy
funny.
Ghost attacked us, bro. Holy Ghost attacked us.
Holy Ghost, huh? All right. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much to say except that David Wu wants to teach his
Yeah.
this guy the basics of YouTube algorithm.
Imagine
and we didn't.
David Wood teaching.
Oh, we didn't know about this.
Imagine,
Yeah.
Imagine David Wood
Yeah, you were
teaching
saying.
YouTube classes. Yeah, imagine if David
Actually,
Wood
actually,
teaches
actually,
YouTube
it's funny.
classes.
Actually, it's funny. Actually, it's funny you should mention this because he actually released several private videos. I went to his X17 Apologetics website. Okay, I logged in as a member. Don't ask me how I did it because it's not. I don't think I want to tell anyone how I did it. But I managed to infiltrate his group, and I saw him releasing several videos teaching his audience how to create YouTube videos and how to make appealing videos. Yeah. Yeah, you probably
I
should
mean,
actually watch them. They're actually
I
quite good.
wonder.
To be honest, they're actually quite good. Yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder what it teaches. Does it like say, first you should start by smashing your daddy in the head, and then you go on to like lie about other people's religion?
Yeah,
Best way to
but you have to admit that,
and then
you have
delete
to
your
admit that
channel,
David does have
and
some
then
good
delete your channel
mechanics. You see,
and start from
yeah.
all over again.
Mhm. Delete your channel, do it or reset everything all over again. Yeah, yeah. That's definitely not something I want to do.
Isn't it
But
useless? This
but
guy
no,
deleted his channel,
but
now he's back.
now, going back to his group, I think he's trying to create an audience. He's trying to get his audience to create YouTube channels, basically with the end goal of attacking Islam. So I think that's one of the reasons why he created his website in the first place. He wants to attract Christians to his channel, or
Yeah, this will
Islamophobes
backfire.
to
This
his
will
channel,
backfire
and
on him.
then yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah. I
why?
mean,
Now the
we'll
thing is
see.
that
We'll see how he goes. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
yeah, now it'll backfire
Yeah.
because the thing is that
Okay.
if you're let's say that you hate Islam, right, and you want to watch David Wood,
Yes.
and then you watch David Wood, and then there's this other random guy who's also saying the same thing, and then another guy who also
Yeah.
says the same thing. Like there's no variety there.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that with Muslim
Yeah.
apologetics, like there's so many varieties in our like the whole scene.
Yeah.
Like most people don't agree
Yes.
with each other. Like there's a lot of like differences of
Fighting each other.
opinion. So there's
You mean we are
always something new.
You mean we are fighting each other? You mean you're fighting each other, right?
And to be fair, like that's what makes us authentic, right? Because we're not being funded by like some billionaire Zionist group, and because of that, there's diversity.
Hmm.
But if you like kind of like mass produce this type of thing to tackle us, it's gonna fail because it's just the same thing over and over again with nothing new to be added.
Yeah.
Like for example, a content of like.
But you have to keep in mind what Goebbels said. You know, the minister of propaganda during Nazi Germany. He said that for every lie that you repeat, it will eventually become the truth for the masses. So I think this is what David's aim is. He wants to create a lot of Christian
But the thing
YouTubers
is that
who will repeat the same. Who will repeat the same. Yeah. Who will repeat the same shit that he says. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he said that
Yeah.
during a time when internet was not available. Because nowadays, you Google it,
That's true.
you find the truth. Like it is like
That's true.
that strategy is not going to work
That's
anymore.
true.
Sure,
But
in
we-
the past, Christian
but-
missionaries
but-
relied on
Yeah.
this type of things, but
Yeah.
it's not working anymore. Clearly, because
Yeah.
Christianity is dying. So
Yeah.
this
True.
tactic is
That's
just
true.
bad
That's true.
for Christians.
But that being said, we actually need to have more Muslim YouTubers as well to counter these lies, because these Christians are going to pop out like rabbits, attacking Islam. So we need more Muslim YouTubers out there as well. So, by the way, for Muslims who are watching this, if you want to create a YouTube channel, please do create a YouTube channel and
Yeah,
counter.
please do. And if you guys
Christian
need any
lies
help,
or- yeah.
contact us. We'll do what we
Yeah,
can, inshallah.
Definitely. Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Let's continue.
Seconds is your feelings may be hurt if you're a pathetic, weak-willed, sniveling crybaby. And it's like, dude, who's going to continue watching that? So notice we're trying to help you here. You start out with a hook. In other words, before that. So before that little disclaimer, put something that shows something is good that's going to happen, right? And then you put your disclaimer. So like your first 10 seconds, have a hook in there. Have a hook. Hey, like some action-packed thing that you say. If you have anything like that in your 28-minute video, put that at the beginning, then your disclaimer, then go into the video, and it might help your watch time.
Also, very important, please take off that stupid mask. Right.
Yeah. Also, beat your dad with a hammer. That gets the views.
Yes,
Yeah.
Take that stupid mask off.
Exactly.
This is the thing, right? Like these people. So I get what he's saying. Basically, he's trying to advise people to how to be popular. But the thing is that this also explains how they behave, right? Because the thing
Yeah.
is that all this kind of like drama, them eating the Quran or insulting the Prophet, a lot of this is done for
Yeah.
the views. As a matter of fact,
Exactly.
when the
Exactly.
debate that he had with Daniel, he admits that he criticizing Islam for like saying that, oh, Islam has these violent teachings and whatnot. Mostly it's a straw man, but even if it was true, like that his whole point is not to say that Islam is false because of that. So he's just lying to his
Yeah.
audience for no reason, for shock value.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's what
Exactly.
is like. That's why he's doing this. He's doing it for the views.
Okay. He admit,
got
yeah,
to
like you say, he admits it during Daniel's debate with him, right? He said that, oh, I'm saying that Islam is violent, not as an argument against Islam. He actually admits that. Yeah.
See again, when it's women doing it, I totally get it. There are people who will stalk them and post their pictures online and then like Photoshop their pictures and
Yeah.
porn images and stuff like that. I 100% get it. If you're a man and you're not even terribly popular, who's going to kill you? Just like seriously. If I were a jihadi and I decide I'm going to kill somebody, it's not going to be who am I going to kill? Apostate Aladdin.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like there are others who put on masks, like Infidel Noodle puts on masks, and she's
Makes complete sense.
I completely understand that she works in serious places often, and she is also a
What serious place does Infidel Nolo works in? Like, what are they talking about?
woman. And
By the
she
way,
has been
do you
targeted
know
in this-
that?
in
Do you
this-
know? Sorry, pause that. Sorry.
Sure, sure.
Do you know that Infidel Noodle and Apostate Aladdin are together? They're actually boyfriend. I'm not sure what the relationship is, whether they are boyfriend or girlfriend or whether they are husband and wife, but they are definitely together in that sense.
Who?
Yeah.
Infidel Nolo?
Infidel Noodle. Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
I don't know if is that true.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, I've seen her together with this guy. Yeah. Yeah.
If Apus looked like a regular Muslim, there's no way he would escape the stereotypes, regardless of belief. Not sure what you mean. Let's continue.
state with a mask on. And
Oh
those
yeah,
who-
I think I get what he's trying to say. Basically, he's saying that if he goes to like in Gaza, the IDF would shoot him first.
in sexually messed up ways by
Yeah.
Islamists on the internet. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
she should
and
be
even
doing that.
the-
you,
but-
and then you talk about what you talk about me.
And there are even Christians who do it, like Too Many Marys. She's a Christian and she's not even an ex-Muslim,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
she'll cover her face up just because again, women will get harassed in ways that we don't. But my goodness, dude, who do you think's going to come after you? Seriously, like if you're not the person who's
too
annoying
many-
the most,
too many- sorry, pause that,
much of a sense do you
pause that.
think you're under?
Yeah, he's talking about Too Many Marys. Too Many Marys, we already know how she looks like because she has a YouTube video which actually shows her face. She only wears the niqab just to mock Muslims, okay, Muslim women. That's all. It's not because she wanted to hide her identity or anything of the sort. Because if she does have the intention of hiding her identity, she would have removed her older videos from her channel a long time ago, which exposed her face. Okay, I know how Mary looks like. Okay, okay, her name is Mary something. I don't remember exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who that is.
Oh yeah, it's a Christian YouTuber who's quite frequent on. I don't know. Have you heard of Reason Answers? Thaddeus, the Christian guy who I had a chat with recently, several months ago.
Oh, like Reason
So
Answer or whatever his name is. I think I made a video on him.
Thaddeus. So this guy is in cahoots with another Christian YouTuber by the name of Too Many Marys. So when these Too Many Marys appear on Reason Answers, she often wears a niqab style mask. But the thing is, we already know how she looks like because she has a channel called Too Many Marys, and she already uploaded a video of her with her face exposed. So totally irrelevant point here.
Yeah. Also, another thing, like, doesn't Christianity says that you should cover up anyway? So
not the
who's she
face,
mocking?
not the face. No. She's just mocking Muslims because with the niqabis, our sisters who wear the niqab by choice. So she's just wearing that just to mock them.
No, I think even Christians have to like cover up, like.
No,
at least,
they don't cover
portion
the
of their
face.
body.
No, not the face. No.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean,
Take your mask off, man up. And I just want to say, because we're trying to figure out like why some people are less. If I were to watch this dude talking trash about you, when you're way more likely to be brutally murdered in the name of Allah, I'd be like, okay, come on, you got a mask on, dude, seriously.
If Noodle says, I just realized you almost used the exact same title as my The Dark Side of Online Dawah.
So he's a cop.
to voice my displeasure about him.
And
All
I'll
of
get
him is really wrong.
I'll get the most support from Muslims if I go after him.
Oh, one of the big things is that I collaborate with you first nerdy ways. But when you sit there and try to make videos and then you attack somebody else for their audience, and then this is how you present yourself, I mean, seriously, man, I didn't even want to do this because if I respond to this guy, I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to say what I think, and it's not going to be pretty.
Oh, no, you can't say what you.
Oh, he didn't want to do this, then made like a 3 or 4 hour long video whining about Apostate Aladdin, mocking him.
Nearly
I don't like
4 hours.
Apostate
My
Aladdin.
God. Okay.
Thing, you have to capture multiple
Yeah,
words,
yeah.
and then like really soften the blow.
He's going to cry now when he's
Oh my god.
Hey, dude, serious. That's what people spend
Yeah,
years
he's
complaining
just
about me for.
mocking-
Like,
they're just
I'm being, like,
mocking him,
sarcastic
man.
and stuff like this. You're not supposed to do that. Guess what? That's what people actually listen to. So if you're trying to expose certain things about Muhammad and the Quran, and you want people to actually pay attention on YouTube, this is how you do it, right? So what he's saying is, guys, you should not be doing what actually.
Did you hear what he said?
There you go.
Let me go
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, you should replay that. It's very important.
Imagine if you still made videos. You know what I mean? You haven't made a video in like 10 years. Imagine if you'd still been cranking out videos the entire time.
this guy.
Some of the topics he mentioned were familiar to me, and the information presented matched what I already found. So I quickly dismissed my knee-jerk suspicion that he's making it up to taint Islam. But there was something about his delivery that made me uneasy. He had a
You're
tone-
complaining about his delivery. Hey, dude, serious.
Here we go.
That's what people spent
Okay,
years complaining about me for, my delivery, because I'm being like sarcastic and stuff like this, and you're not supposed to do that. Guess what? That's what people actually listen to. So if you're
He's not wrong, by the way.
You hear that?
But he's not wrong, by the way. He's not wrong.
I get what he's saying. But
It's a YouTube. Yeah, it's a YouTube technique. Yeah.
Did you guys hear what he said?
Yeah, I did.
He said that
Yeah,
people
yeah.
complain to him that his delivery is not good. He's mocking Islam and all this, being sarcastic and all this.
Yes.
It's not good.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Many Christians are
Yeah.
saying this, right? But he still does
Yes,
it
that's right.
because that's what people watch. So it's about the
because
views.
that's what people watch, and yes, it's about the views, and of course about the money,
Reading
the mullah.
Quran. Yeah. All of this
Yeah.
is a stunt to get the views.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
The
I mean, if I
same-
wanted to do a stunt, I could. If I really wanted to do a stunt like what David does, I could just take a Bible and start eating the pages from it. If I were course like him, but I wouldn't do that because
Yeah, I mean, like
I don't think that's
he
the point.
literally admitted
of
this.
a YouTube video.
And this is what
Yeah.
I found so funny. He literally admitted this in this video that
Yeah.
the reason he does
Yeah.
mocks the
Yeah.
prophet, the reason he mocks Muslims is because he wants the views.
For views,
You know,
exactly.
just like he stole
Exactly.
all those money from his kids charity.
Kids' funeral, funeral, man.
Now he's
Imagine
making money.
200K, 200,000 US dollars. He asked for $20,000, and in the end, he got 200,000 US dollars. So where did 180,000 go to? We don't know.
Yeah.
Someone should actually ask him to do his accounts, and someone should actually press him for it. I don't know why none of his fans asked him about it. You see, I mean, it's so glaringly obvious,
Yeah. I mean, so he literally admits that he is doing it for the views. So if you guys ever come across the video, you know the reason he's doing it. So just ignore him.
Yep.
trying to expose certain things
Exactly.
about Muhammad and the Quran, and you want people to actually pay attention on YouTube, this is how you do it, right? So what he said
So he's literally repeating it, being vulgar, being disgusting. The reason he does it is for the views.
is,
Yep.
guys, you should
And-
not be doing what actually works on YouTube to expose Muhammad. No, use this completely defective methodology that no one will ever listen to, so that no one ever learns anything about Islam, and the Dawa guys completely dominate YouTube. Brilliant strategy, Apostate Aladdin. Man, it's good thing you came in here to correct us and tell us how it's done. Let's
By the way, he never said this. He never said that he's here to lecture people about how to run YouTube. But
Oh,
but I
okay.
guess-
Yeah. I guess he.
go back
I guess
and
they just
let
want
the
to
artists come out and be complete nerds, boring nerds when you describe everything.
David, please do not be sarcastic. This is a very serious topic. Complaint that I said cooked himself about somebody.
Explain why?
It's very disrespectful.
Yeah, that's a situation where I understand people having different perspectives and so on, but it sucks because I do think that guy probably had something wrong mental health wise. But you cannot let that become something cool to do. You can't. If you learn anything from the film Heathers, you can't let it become a cool thing. You can't let suicide become a cool thing to do. And so
Okay,
you have
so
to.
basically here, they start talking about Aaron Bushnell. The American military who burned himself to death. They start talking
Oh,
about
okay.
but have
Yeah,
to
they
penetrate
got
with contempt,
added
not glorified.
whatever.
Yeah, here, look, I'll find a lot more alarming rhetoric. Here's one last tweet I think is worth mentioning. It's by a man called Aaron Bushnell, who set himself on
Not a hero.
his actions. I'm not going to get into who knows why he did what he did. For the purposes of this video, it's frankly irrelevant. I just want to highlight how AP said that this man hated whiteness and hated tradition.
Did you notice what he wrote? Now look how he defends himself. This is what he wrote on Twitter.
Okay.
This idiot,
This
by the way,
idiot,
he's calling a person,
Aaron Bushnell.
an American soldier
Yeah.
who committed suicide for a supposedly a just cause. Although we don't condone suicide.
We don't condone suicide, but in any case, he thought that was the right thing to do, and he did it anyways.
Yeah.
So this idiot Aaron
And
Bushnell
to say that to call him an idiot, a person who killed himself, like how does that affect their family? Can you imagine?
Yeah, it's so
basically he's saying-
insensitive and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron Bushnell,
Yeah.
who burned himself to death, justified the Nova Music Festival massacre. He never did. This is a lie.
Yeah.
This is a lie.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And then says hated whiteness, which is another lie. Like, where did you get this?
What relevance does that have to him burning?
No. He never said
in
this.
front of
Like
the
Aaron
embassy
Bushnell
anyway.
never said he
Yeah.
hates white people.
Yeah, I know.
He's
Even
lying.
if he does, what does that? I mean, even if he does, what does that have? What relevance does that have to do with burning himself in front of the embassy? Nothing to do with it at all. It's not. It's
Yeah.
totally not the issue. Yeah.
And then he said that hated tradition and supported anarchy. Like how? So
I don't know
saying,
what that
saying
even.
that,
I don't know what is that even supposed to
saying that
mean.
he shouldn't commit genocide is hating tradition. So is the American tradition to commit genocide? Is it a American? Is that what he's saying? So maybe he's
Doesn't make
saying
any
that
sense.
it's
Doesn't-
American
I
tradition.
don't know what
to commit
Apus.
war crimes.
I don't know what Apusi. The thing is, I don't know what Apusi means by tradition. What tradition exactly?
Yeah, I think that's what he means. I think he thinks that it's American tradition to commit war crimes and kill children. So he's against
Yeah.
that. So he's against American
Yeah.
tradition,
to
which is
fund
not true.
to find an apartheid state. Yeah, to find apartheid state to arrest protesters in U.S. universities. That's the American tradition. Yeah,
Yeah.
So this is exactly what's
I love
happening
how-
right now in the U.S.
I love what
Yeah.
a great representation of America he's become.
Yeah.
Apostate Prophet is a man of Turkish origin. How is whiteness and tradition relevant to him or the point he's trying to make? Who is he really addressing here? Can you think of a demographic that clutches their pearls at the narrative that whiteness and tradition are under attack? Can you hypothesize who he could possibly be? God here. I'll give you a hint. They tend to donate generously in church and to other causes they perceive to be holy.
Why
For example,
Why is this psychopath laughing? I don't understand. What's so funny about this?
Why?
Hold on.
Then
Do you
cool.
notice
If
him
you
laugh-
learn anything
do
from the
you-
film
do you
Heaven,
notice-
let it become a cool thing. Killing suicide become a cool
Do you
thing
notice
to
the
do.
psychopath
So
laughing
have
just
to
now?
penetrate it with contempt and not glorify it.
Yeah, but listen to
here,
what he's
here,
saying.
look, I'll find a lot more alarming rhetoric. Here's one last tweet I think is worth mentioning. It's about a man called Aaron Bushnell, who set himself on
You said not a hero?
for his actions. I'm not going to get into who knows or why he did what he did. For the purposes of this video, it's frankly irrelevant. I just want to highlight how AP said that this man hated whiteness and hated tradition.
Yeah.
Apostate Prophet is a man of Turkish origin. How is whiteness and tradition relevant to him or the point?
Yeah, this is
Exactly,
actually a very
exactly.
good point. Because
Exactly.
the thing is that you can clearly tell that Apus is trying to trigger his right-wing audience. So he's using kind of like those kind of like right-wing language to appeal to them,
Exactly.
the Zionists.
Yeah,
And so
because he
basically he's
appeals
saying
to
that-
those. He appeals to those right wing groups, those Islamophobic, pro-white, white right wing, white nationalist groups. You see, so
Yeah.
that's why
So-
he uses
because
those
the
kind
thing
of
is that
languages to
He's
that kind of
yeah.
language to appeal
Basically-
to the audience.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, he's Turkish immigrant, right? Not a true American like yourself.
I don't know whether I
he's
could
a-
call myself a cool American though.
So he's basically a Turkish guy who's complaining about white people and like tradition. Like why? So clearly he's targeting this kind of like right-wing groups and saying that, oh look, this
Yeah.
guy hated the things that you're championing.
You're struggling for,
You
you're
should
fighting
hate him
for,
as well.
you're championing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's he's calling that out, and he's absolutely right.
he's trying to make. Who is he really addressing here? Can you think of a demographic that clutches their pearls at the narrative that whiteness and tradition are under attack? Can you hypothesize who he could possibly be? God here. I'll give you a hint.
Why
They
is
tend
this
to donate
idiot?
generously in church.
Do you
and to other
notice the
causes they
idiot
perceive to be
laughing?
holy. For example, Christianity.
Mhm.
Why is he
He's trying to
laughing?
get donations.
Now,
You'll see. It gets even dumber. Just keep watching.
Why is he laughing? I don't get it.
there is so much stupidity in here. There are just
Oh,
a few
man.
a few points to go into. One is that this guy actually thinks,
No wonder no one watches this guy. My goodness.
or makes it look like the average Christian that watches my channel, or let's just say the average Christian that talks about these things, is a white nationalist.
They're all white nationalists. That's what Christians are.
Yeah. Did he ever say that?
Yeah, actually, I don't think he said that, but it's actually quite true that many white nationalists are Christians anyway. And I wouldn't be surprised that white nationally Christians are actually watching his channel. So I don't know what his point is. Yeah.
So basically, he attacked him for clearly targeting these right-wing groups and appealing to them and saying that, look, you should hate this guy
Yeah.
because, he hates what you
Yeah.
guys stand for, right? Even though he never does.
Yeah.
So basically, and he's trying to respond to it by saying that, but there's context to it, right? He's going to say this.
I don't want to offend you, jihadis, but you Christians are all white nationalists who are being manipulated by AP to get donations from you.
And I don't understand
Like, he never said any of this, but
this guy. This guy
No,
apparently lives in
not
America.
necessarily
How
at
does
all.
he have such
Not
a
funny at all.
cartoon perspective of American society, of Christian society? It doesn't make sense. This is like this is not the demographic. This is not the population in real life. Apostate Aladdin.
Nationalists.
These people.
he never said that. Like, they're completely ignoring
never
the
said
point
that.
he's making.
He's trying to get
Yeah.
them other nations.
And sorry, can you pause that?
He's trying to get donations from Donald.
So can you pause that? Yeah. So anyway, well, with regards to white nationalist Christians watching their channel, it doesn't have to be Americans, right? It can be Scandinavians, it can be Europeans, it can be English speakers from other countries watching his Hindu Vas even watching their channel. So if he's saying that it's not why does he think that only Americans are watching his channel? You see, yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
Trump.
And he's then also insinuating that I'm basically just making tweets of that. But the other thing is, it is incredibly stupid because he is reading into this tweet and making it look like something else because he simply doesn't understand
Oh,
a
David
very,
Wood.
very simple tweet. Now,
Hey, he said David Wood.
now look,
I'm
he cut
famous
this
now.
part and put this on here. And he briefly put this on here. Let me pull up the whole tweet. David.
So now they're trying to expose him. And look at their defense. This is going to be hilarious. Watch this.
How about
Okay, let me see
I will
this.
read this tweet to you.
Okay.
And I will ask you if you understand why I made this tweet and what I'm trying to say in this tweet. This idiot Aaron Bushnell, who burned himself to death,
Pretty rude.
justified the Nova Music Festival message.
Hey, at least you didn't say cooked himself, though. All right, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Hated whiteness, hated tradition, and supported anarchy. Yet he is praised by
Oh,
progressives, neo-Nazis, Islamists. Bunch of opportunistic leeches with no integrity.
dude.
Oh my God, this is such a great own. He is taking him out of context. Except he's not, because you did write these things. And here's the
Yeah.
funny part. So basically, he's saying that, oh, look, he's taking me out of context because I was saying this
Yeah.
to respond to all
Yeah.
the progressives and the neo-Nazis and the Islamists. But the thing is, these things aren't true. So basically, you're lying to this group
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
saying that. So basically, he criticizes.
I've never come across any Islamist group who praised Aaron Bushnell or what he has done.
Yeah.
Okay, none of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically,
Or even neo-Nazis, by the way. I ever not come across any neo-Nazi group talking about Aaron Bushnell.
yeah.
So I don't know what he's talking about.
Speaking of it, so basically, Apostate Aladdin basically criticized him for appealing to
Yeah.
right-wing groups, right?
Exactly. The
And
first three.
his defense is, oh, I'm not appealing to right-wing groups. I'm just lying to them. That's so much better. How's that better? Because he's clearly lying to them. Aaron Bush
Yeah,
never said
exactly.
these things.
Yes, exactly.
So this is not better.
I mean, the first 3 points are totally wrong. I mean, that's not the reason why Aaron Bushnell burned himself to death. And even if it is, it's not relevant to what he did on that day, on that day when he burned himself to death. So it's
because the thing is
still
that, like,
irrelevant,
even
regardless. Yeah,
even
totally
if
irrelevant.
he somehow hated tradition or like quote unquote white
Exactly.
people.
Yes,
still wouldn't,
yes.
like,
It still wouldn't make
wrong.
sense. It's still, yeah, exactly. It still
It
wouldn't.
would be
It's
wrong
still
to protest against a genocide.
exactly,
or ask for
exactly. It's totally irrelevant. Yeah, it's totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
It is just a straw man. Okay. Yeah.
It's a red herring.
Or
red herring.
basically poisoning the well too. I think in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a red herring basically. He's distracting the
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
argument.
Yes,
Dude,
that's
You
right,
got it
that's
immediately,
right.
right? You know
Dude,
exactly what it's about.
instantly. See, I didn't.
And I love how David Wood just tries to be a wingman and tries to cope in response to this really bad argument. And he's like, "Oh my God, dude, look
I
at
didn't even know
this!
the
You
tweet he was
owned
responding
him.
to. But yet, once you actually see it in context,
Hallelujah, brother! You're totally
dude,
on
no,
that.
just lost any bit of
Hallelujah.
respect for him. Any bit. Like
Totally
that,
wrong.
that was
Hallelujah.
deliberately massacring
All
that
those
tweet.
Muslims?
You're pointing out the absurdity
Yo,
that he's being praised by
bro.
neo-Nazis when this guy
You
hated Islam
expose
and
those
the other groups as
Muslims.
well, right? So,
Islamic-
all these, in other words, it's all the groups, all
Oh, praise the Holy Spirit. Oh, praise the Holy Spirit for exposing those damn Muslims who are burning in hell, who's going to burn in
Those damn
hell.
Muslims,
Oh
brother.
yeah.
Damn Muslims,
I
brother.
think you
got
did.
them.
I think you did a better impersonation than me. Oh my God. Okay, I can't impersonate them. I'm not really that
The Holy
good
Spirit
at
is
doing
watching our
accents.
channels, brother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hallelujah
totally got
for
'em, brother.
killing those Muslims. Oh hallelujah for exposing those Muslims are burning to hell, going to
Exposed them
hell.
by completely.
I don't know.
You're clearly
We
showing.
exposed them.
You didn't.
We exposed.
No,
We
no.
exposed them
You
by
clearly
completely
showed them.
lying about our point.
Yeah. Like you clearly didn't say what he's saying. You're doing something worse. He's saying that you're appealing to them, but you're not appealing to them. You're just lying to them. That is so much brother. For the Holy Spirit.
Oh my God, I'm coughing. Oh no.
the groups, who are praising him would hate him.
No progressive is like praise. Sorry, and no like Islamist is like praising suicide.
I have not come across a single Islamist group that praised what Adam Bushnell did. Okay, so I just don't know what he's talking about.
If he weren't burning himself over this stuff.
Totally. No.
Oh my goodness! So that was the point you were making. He completely leaves off the second part of it, and then blasts you.
Yeah, like he actually made you seem better. Like if you actually read the whole thing, you just look worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because the thing is that, so basically he's trying to say, oh, he's taking me out of context. But the thing is that you're still appealing to them, and not only are you appealing to them, you're lying to them. You know, you're lying to these groups to
Exactly.
make Aaron Bushnell look bad, which is worse. Because Apostate Aladdin was only claiming that, he's just appealing to these groups, but he's not just appealing to them; he's lying to them. Like,
Yeah,
for
it's
something
so
that was
much worse more.
Oh
My God.
Dude, absolutely.
I mean,
My
it's
God.
so obvious.
Terrible
I
person. Terrible
I
person.
even made it obvious by by listing these this way. Justified the Nova Music Festival massacre, shouldn't be okay with progressives. Hated whiteness, shouldn't be okay with neo-Nazis. Hated tradition and supported anarchy, shouldn't be okay with Islamists. Yet these people praise this guy as a hero because they are opportunistic leeches with
Yeah.
no integrity. It's so obvious.
Awful,
You got it
awful.
immediately as I was reading it.
Yeah.
Now this guy,
oh my God, I look so much better now that I completely showed that I just lied to people.
this guy took this out of context deliberately, or he genuinely doesn't understand.
He's,
This
yeah,
guy's
he
an idiot.
could be too stupid.
Honestly, like at this point, like Ridvan is so dumb. Like we don't really have to refute him anymore. He just refused himself.
I think he just dug the hole for himself anyway. So there's little to comment on after this.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think we should skip
Yeah.
ahead because I don't want to waste any more time. So basically,
Yeah,
at this
I
stage,
have a debate soon, Aki. So I
yeah,
haven't
just
written my
a few
speech
minutes.
yet. So yeah.
I wanna because I really
Okay.
want to highlight this issue that's been going on in Africa, and they
Right.
basically talk about the whole Boko Haram issues.
Right.
OMG, LMAO, did he just call
Okay.
Boko Haram freedom fighters while attacking Hamas for the things that they do? This is unbelievable. I'm
can't
going to
believe
make
it.
another response
AP
video.
calls them freedom fighters.
Oh no, how could this
Yeah, no one is calling like Boko Haram freedom fighters, but
be?
AP
I don't
supports
understand.
terrorism.
I cannot believe what I am hearing right now. I will make a response video to this, and it will be very harsh, please. But it will be very, very harsh. It will be offensive. And if you cannot handle offensive things, please click away now. Viewer discretion advised. Anyway, let's look at the story.
The hunt for nearly 300 school children abducted by gunmen goes on, but the governor of Kaduna State has
by the
told
way, these things are terrible. Well, right? Like whether a Muslim does it or like anyone else does it, it's un-Islamic. This is haram. You cannot do this. As a matter of fact, in Islam, it is
Yeah.
clearly said that Prophet said that you cannot separate a mother from a child, right? So if you kidnap children, obviously that's haram. You cannot do that. Same thing with family. You cannot separate family members. Like I think there's a hadith
Yeah.
where the Prophet ﷺ, looked at. No, I cannot remember exactly. I think it's Ali Radhananu or either Ali Radhananu or the Prophet ﷺ. There's a hadith where they basically said to not separate the children from their mother, and this was when they were talking about slaves. So even when it comes to slaves, you cannot separate like the children from the mother. So clearly, this is not allowed. But brother MENJ will be back, inshallah. I think he's trying to get some refreshment. But so yeah, as I was saying, brother MENJ will be back, inshallah. So, but anyway, so as I was saying, so obviously, what this group Boko Haram did is not Islamic. It's haram. You cannot do this. However, what I found hilarious and stupid from the perspective of like these Islamophobes is that their double standard in regards to Gaza. So let's continue.
BBC that at least 28 of those children have escaped their captors. The Nigerian army is leading the search for the children who were abducted from the northwest town of Kuriga in Kaduna State. Reports say students between the ages of 8 and 15 were taken, along with
Why does this presenter sound so boring? What's with?
Maybe she went to the Apostate Aladdin School of Journalism.
Maybe.
James Ansari, a breakaway faction of the militant Islamist group Boko Haram. Victims of kidnapping usually pay ransom to secure their freedom. The controversial law, though passed in 2022, made it a crime to make ransom payments with a potential jail sentence of at least 15 years.
So, okay, what they do it for is...
Wait, what did they say? They made it illegal to pay ransoms?
That's what it looks like. That's what she said, I think.
Wow.
It is controversial.
Yeah, that is. That's always a tough situation because you understand that by paying ransom, you're encouraging more kidnappings, but you want your relative back, and so you want to pay the ransom. But gosh, that's rough. It's a rough call to make to say no ransom payments.
It's a crime to make ransom payments with a potential jail sentence of at least 15 years. The many victims
15 years to make the ransom payment.
Our West Africa correspondent Mayeni Jones updated me on this story from Maiduguri.
Yeah, the military is currently running a rescue operation in...
By the way, the only reason these people are like making videos on this type of things in Africa, because they don't care about Africa, let's be real. They do not care about Africa or what happens to Africans. The only reason they're making a video is to make Muslims look bad. And as I mentioned before, there are many cases where Christians are slaughtering Muslims, as I showed before. But they will never highlight this. So, and again, I will show more examples of this, but there's one double standard that I want to point out that I'm going to get to.
Kaduna State, but also in the neighboring states of Katsina and Zamfara, which are all kidnapping hotspots here in northern Nigeria.
Okay, so news of people kidnapped. I don't want to go through the whole news report here.
They're incredibly distressed. The governor of the state, Ubasani, visited the school the day kidnapping happened on Thursday. A number of them spoke to him. He said that Islamicals felt abandoned, that there wasn't enough security in the community, and he pleaded with him to help find their children. This has become a huge national and international story. The president here...
Can you imagine what a big story this would be if this was not happening in Nigeria, but rather somewhere else in the world, somewhere closer to the West, somewhere in the Middle East, and especially if the perpetrators were not Islamists, but people of a different background.
Yeah.
So I love how Apus says that, oh, no one cares about this because this is being done by Islamists, right? Really? Okay. So let me show you guys something. So they're complaining because Boko Haram kidnapped 300 people, right? Obviously that's bad. Kidnapping people is not allowed. However, this is hilarious coming from a Zionist. You know why? Because let me show you guys something.
Sorry, what did I miss? Did I miss anything?
Oh yeah. So basically they're complaining about Boko Haram kidnapping 300 children, right? Which is bad.
Okay,
I mean,
right.
I'm not that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
that's bad.
of course, we cannot excuse that. Yeah, obviously that.
Yeah, of course,
bad, right?
it's haram, and you cannot do this. But they're complaining about Boko Haram kidnapping 300 children. This is extremely hilarious from a Zionist. You know why? Because let's share the screen. As of now, there are nearly an estimated, this is based on time, an estimated 10,000 Palestinian children have been held in military detention over the past 20 years.
Prisons, right?
With Save the Children noting that the only children in the world who are systematically persecuted in military courts without any trial. And why are they arrested?
Horrible. Because
they threw rocks at people who are taking over the land illegally, meaning they're trying to fight bandits in other language. So they have massive issues when Boko Haram takes 300 kids, kidnaps 300 kids, but it's completely fine when IDF kidnaps 10,000 kids. How does that make sense?
If IDF does it, it's halal. But if Muslims do it, no, haram. No.
Like,
That's basically it. Okay. I just summarize it for you.
I don't know, like, what to say to this. Like, I mean, like, you have to be like, calling it hypocrisy is like insulting hypocrisy. Like, sure,
It's
I mean,
worse
like,
than hypocrisy, right? It's worse than that, right?
they're complaining
It's
about
totally
Boko
worse than
Haram
that. Yeah.
kidnapping 300 people, and yet IDF
Yeah.
kidnapped nearly 10,000 children, which is fine
Exactly.
because they're a powerful group.
Oh, it's totally
and
fine.
Boko Haram isn't.
It's totally fine because it's the Israelis. They are the protected race. We must protect them. Yeah, because they're
If
coming back to their
Zionists-
land. It's their land.
Yeah,
It's their land. It's their land. They deserve to kill all the Palestinians. Even though the Palestinians have been living there for thousands of years, you must still kick out the Palestinians because that's their land. It belongs to them. It's in the Bible. Hallelujah. That's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
I mean, like,
That's the only reason.
basically what it is. Basically, what it
Yeah,
is
it is
that
what it is.
basically
Yes, yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine when Zionists kidnap children, but it's not fine when Muslims kidnap children.
Yeah.
It's fine when Jews kidnap children.
When Muslims do that, it's
which by the way, is
naughty,
sanctioned in the Bible. Which is sanctioned in the Bible.
Yeah. Yes.
For example, let me. Here we go. Numbers 31.
Yeah.
If you read it,
Mhm.
put it up. Let me share the screen. Numbers 31. I believe it's this is basically Moses asking his armies, and Moses said unto them. By the way, can you read from this?
I can't see it. It's too small.
Can you see it now?
Too small. Okay, much better now. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me find the here.
Okay. The bottom part is blocked. Okay. And Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? Okay, it's blocked. Behold, this caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against the Lord in the matter of pure. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Sorry, my thought got stuck again. Okay, you good. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him. Sorry, next verse. But all the women's children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Okay.
Yeah. Numbers 31, 18, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is kidnapping.
Yep.
This is kidnapping. This is exactly what the
is.
Jews are doing in Israel.
It definitely is. Sounds like that to me anyway.
Yeah, Christian terrorist group like the Anti-Balaka also kidnaps people. And the difference between them and Boko Haram is that when Boko Haram does it, it's haram, it's not allowed. However, when Anti-Balaka does it, it's actually allowed in the scripture. That is the difference.
When Muslims do it, it's totally okay. Yeah, sorry, when non-Muslims do it, when Christians do it, it's totally fine. Yeah, if Muslims do it, you have to tell the whole world that Muslims are violent. Muslims kill, Muslims murder, blah blah blah.
No, that's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is basically the difference between.
I mean, sorry. I mean, what I meant was David's mentality. Yeah.
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 Oh wait, I think we have a Zionist here. Yes, the Jews would make good Muslims. Actually, they wouldn't because it's not allowed in Islam. But anyway, so yeah, the difference between.
I guess that depends. Yeah, that depends actually. Yeah, what he means by Jew, because we believe that the Jews who followed Musa's teaching, Musa alayhi salam, were Muslims as well. So it depends.
He's trying to be cute. He's trying to be cute. Next, he will quote 9:5. Yeah, what about 9:5? 9:5 is about war.
Surah Tawbah. Surah Tawbah is about war against the pagans. So yeah. So what? Yeah.
War with your enemies, which doesn't say you can kill civilians. This is direct quote about killing civilians. That's the difference.
Yeah. Yep.
But regardless, so yeah, and this is something that I wanted to highlight, which is that the difference between groups like Anti-Balaka and groups like Boko Haram or the IDF is that in their scripture it is actually justified. Kidnapping civilians, killing civilians is justified in their book, but it's not justified in Islam. As we know, for example, if you read this hadith, this one, hold on. Let me share the screen. Here we go. This hadith in Sunan al-Tirmidhi by Sheikh Albani. Abu Ayyub reported the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him. He said, "Whoever separates a mother from her child, Allah will separate him from his loved ones on the day of resurrection." So it's not allowed for you to take children from their mothers. So kidnapping children, taking them away from their parents is not allowed. So this moron is keep commenting, what book of fiqh are you referring to? Taking woman a war booty is totally halal. Yeah, I'm not talking about taking war booty. I'm talking about killing civilians. Genius. Which is allowed, except that's not kidnapping. Like in war, you take captives. The difference here is that in war, you take war captives. But there's a difference between that is simply going to someone's village and just randomly kidnapping people. But besides the point. But anyway, so anyway, so
he's talking about the hadith about the
saying,
night raid. Yeah, okay, just ban him. Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, it's the same garbage arguments, like they will repeat, but regardless. So
yeah. Anyway, I think can we end the stream now because I have something on later.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Of course.
Or maybe you can continue the stream without me. Yeah.
I'm gonna end the stream here. Actually, there was something I wanted to highlight, but it's fine if you have to go.
Yeah, I have to go. I'm sorry. Yeah.
There's-
I'm getting sleepy
there
yesterday,
is
so I don't
something
want to fall asleep. I don't want to fall asleep before the debate, man.
Yeah, brother, why would we give him explanation? Yeah, you're right, because like there's no point explaining these things to enemies of Islam. But anyway, so
Yeah.
as I was saying, so regarding anti-balaka, there is a lot of examples of like them being active. I just want to show like the wiki pages where they basically go through all the activities that they've done, and they're clearly a terrorist group. And yet, all the Western media is completely silent on this. So this is a massacre that happened in 2021. It's known as the 2021 Boyo killing. And this is a very gruesome massacre. So these Christians, they went to this Muslim village and they basically massacred a lot of people there. And like I could read some of it, but it's very violent. So word of warning. On 7 December 2021, around 5 a.m., armed element identified as UPC fighters tried to counteract with arms. Let me.
I don't think you should read all of it because that might get your video censored. Because YouTube is very sensitive about this type of things. Yeah. Just let the
I'm gonna
just let
skip
the
some of
viewers
the.
read it. Yeah. Because if it's too
Let's say
graphic,
you were attacked.
then YouTube might ban your video. But yeah.
So basically, this anti-balaka, they attacked a village, and they wear like civilian clothes, and they had machetes, and basically it's a Muslim village. They basically tried to find all Muslims in the area, and force Muslim men to gather in the marketplace, and they spared the Christians. So we know this is a Christian terrorist group. And again, they demanded that they pay this kind of money, CFA francs, to be released. And look, they're doing the same thing that Boko Haram is doing, from 10,000 to something. And then it goes on. Some EPC fighters tried to fight them, but that only made them more angry. And when they accidentally set fire to the house of Christians, they took the fire out because they didn't want to attack Christians. And then they tried to, then they attacked more people. And this is what this later description is very graphic, so I'm going to warn you guys. The attackers executed 17 members of Muslim community, all men, at different locations from the village of Boyo. The majority of these 17 attacks were, I'm not going to say this, but they basically cut their heads off. And then they, just cut off their body parts and like displayed it in front of the mosque. And just absolutely disgusting things. Then they killed like 14 people. They also attacked women and children with machetes. They beheaded a 30-year-old woman. And so basically, this is the kind of like disgusting things. And again, I didn't read it because I think Brother MENJ wants to leave, and I also don't want to get censored or whatever. But this is a massacre. It's a horrible massacre. There was nearly 1,000 people, Muslims were displaced. 30 people were killed, brutally killed. Especially the attack on the 17 men were very brutal. And there's one woman who was trying to run, and these Christians, they stopped her. And then the investigation confirmed that attackers intentionally targeted and killed 90 civilians, including 16 adults and 3 minors, all belonging to the Muslim community. The majority of the victims were killed with knives. 6 of the victims, including underage boys, were beheaded. They still displayed the head, and so basically they, it's just very gruesome. I'm not gonna read it because I don't want to get censored. Then they basically did mutilation to the Muslims, and I'm not gonna read any of that. But anyway, so bro, you're muted.
Yeah,
muted.
I'm here. I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Did you get to read?
Yeah, I have to go now. I'm really sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I think I know the details. Yeah, I mean the details are quite clear. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what happened is that these Christians, they went to this village, they start randomly killing people. They killed nearly 30 people, 17 men. They beheaded them, and they chopped off their body parts and they displayed them in front of the mosques, and then killed all the women. There were sexual assault, rapes, and like just disgusting things. And the thing is that the world doesn't do anything, and this group is still active. As of now, I believe even just in 2023, they're still active, and this anti-Balaka group.
Anti-Balaka.
I think there's.
What's Balaka anyway?
Here, if you go to the wiki page, let me share the group here. So basically, they became active from 2014, and they're still active now. Even in 2021, they had an operation, and this massacre happened in 2021. So this group is still active, and they are often hired by like local warlords and whatnot, and they only target Muslims. So this is a Christian terrorist group. And people like David Wood, when these groups go around massacring Muslims, he's completely fine with it. He doesn't care. Him and his buddy at Jihad Watch doesn't care about this Christian terrorism.
Yes.
But if Boko Haram kidnaps 300 people, which is bad, you take massive issue with this. So clearly, these guys, they hate Muslims. They absolutely hate Muslims. And I didn't read the full descriptions of what they did, but it's absolutely disgusting and gruesome. It's very gruesome. And I don't want to get censored or whatever. But it's like the most depraved thing a human is capable of. And these Christian terrorists, they're like literally doing cannibalism against Muslims. They're like butchering Muslims. They're also like ethnically cleansing Muslims from Muslim villages. And no one is doing anything. Like the Western world doesn't care about this. And it's the same thing we see with like IDF. When IDF is committing, the genocide, no one does anything. And this is the reason why I talked about, the caliphate and why we need a Muslim unity. But, it is what it is. Inshallah, hopefully one day we will realize that why we need to be united to protect the Muslims where they are a minority and in danger. Bo, you muted. Are you there? I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so you want to say something? I'm going to end the stream then, I guess.
Nah, nothing much. I think our point is clear, right? These two clowns clearly are hypocrites, right? That's pretty much sums up our live stream anyway.
Yeah.
And they're attacking their fellow, and they attack their fellow anti-Islam guy, who's by the way no friend of Islam, but at least he has some, I guess, some common sense. Okay, that's why he called out Apus's BS. Okay, especially about Aaron Bushnell. Was it? Yeah. So he had some common sense. Okay, that we can give credit, but that doesn't mean that Apostate Aladdin is a friend of ours, because he's also another clown. Okay, he has made some ridiculous statements against Islam before. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like this is what I wanted to highlight, because if you look at these kind of ex-Muslims, what I realize is that these people have no real ground, moral ground. Like they don't have any active, objective morality which they can point to. So the people that show them some kind of kindness or like tries to support them, but no matter what they do, they're gonna support it, because they have no morality. If they like dance naked on the street, they're gonna dance naked on the street. They have no objective morality. They don't stand for anything. And this is why no matter what the Western world does, they're going to support it. Even if it's like, even Westerners themselves are against it, they will support it. Because they're like a good little slaves, mental slaves. And that's the point I wanted to make. And this is clearly demonstrated in like Apus and his behavior. And people like David Wood's behavior. Which is completely psychopathic. It's disgusting. The fact that they're, excusing the crimes of Israel, and they're defending it, and they're completely ignoring when Muslims are victim of anything. And it's no different than Hidutva, it's no different than Zionist, and these groups like merge together to hate on Muslims. That's all it is. And this is why their like movement didn't last long, because it's a sham. It's a hateful group that is only there to hate Muslims, and it's not going to be sustainable. But yeah, with this, I want to end this video. Bro, is there anything else you want to say before we go?
No, nothing much.
Yeah, okay. I think I will end the video here. It's been over 2 hours. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Inshallah, I'll make another video probably on rationality rules or like on David Wood, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, you guys will see me soon, inshallah. And thank you guys for joining. And inshallah, I'll see you guys next time. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes. Yeah, also if you guys like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and subscribe to brother Amin just channel.
Way.
And yeah,
his channel too. Please don't subscribe to brother Islamic Calling's channel too. Yeah.
So yeah, Assalamu alaikum.